virtual love will be unveiled. I've got your back, but is that all there can be? Through the headsets, soft laughter we share, yet in silence, about our feelings we're scared. Joysticks tremble like our hidden desires. In the lobby, it's our love that's on fire.
Nick, I love you so. My wife can't know. You are my favorite type of bro. I'd kiss you tight and never let go. John, you're the best, better than all the rest. Much like Jill Eat, for what a man can get, I'd hug you tight. 'Cause you're alright. I'd make sweet love to you every night.
Staring in the mirror rings. He's in these switches and cats. Staring in the mirror rings.
And what begins dabei ist wie the depths and I will all for other to laugh for other cheap alive for others right. You think you're the best forever, you'll impress, you love yourself again and again. Cause Nick believes in you. Oh, Nick, he does, it's true. Nick believes in. Nick believes in you, he believes it. Nick believes in you, he believes it. Nick believes in himself too. Nick's reflection is only truth. Admiring eyes of the one who needs no proof. In every mirror, his heart beats confess. He's his own true love. Nothing more, nothing less. With the world as his stage, he takes his bow, applauding himself. He doesn't need us anyhow. No, he. Oh, Nick, he's the star in his own play. In his grand play. Hearts in the audience, but he just sways. He sways away to the rhythm of his ego that's never at rest. For Nick's own admiration, he'll always confess. Self-catching his eyes, the windows gleam. Oh, that gleam. In love with himself, ain't that the theme? Nick's his own dream and his self-centered dream. At his own jokes, he lost the best. Hero in the mirror above all the rest. For Nick it's all cheers, never a jeer. In his mirror world, doubt can't pierce his sphere.
XboxEra is about to enter its 5th year, and that's all thanks to you. If you're new here, let me fill you in. XboxEra is a platform for the Xbox community with best-in-class forums, a kick-ass Discord server, and of course XboxEra.com, chock full of the latest news, reviews and more, all focused on your favourite platform, Xbox. It's every Xbox fan's gateway to the best of XboxEra. Our incredible podcast listened to in over 50 countries across the planet, our own digital store for games and codes, our merch store for the coolest of Xbox threads, and of course Day One, where you can track, rate and discuss your favourite games on Xbox Game Pass. XboxEra is built for you, and it's completely funded by you. If you value having a publication truly focused on your preferred place to play, you can support us directly via Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/XboxEra. You get cool swag and awesome perks, and we get to keep doing what we do. Become a part of the best Xbox community on the internet and help us build the next 5 years of XboxEra. Thank you for your support. Despite the fact that the team running XboxEra haven't been to journalism school, we're still lucky enough to be supported by some incredible people. While we adore all of our patrons, we have to give a very special shout out to our executive producers who go above and beyond for this team, allowing us to achieve so much more than we could without them. Assassin Entertainment, Croat56, Frankie C, Jordan White, Kevin S, Korkenstein, Mohammed Sherez, Not Jack, Top, and a special shout out to Grand Benefactor Torn Raptor. You guys are fucking awesome, and we love you. If you want to become legend like this lot, head to patreon.com/XboxEra. Hello friends, I'm back. Welcome to episode 213 of the XboxEra Podcast. We're here to talk about all of the latest in gaming from across the industry, but overall, we're focused on your favourite platform, Xbox. If you love what we do, you can support us directly by heading to patreon.com/XboxEra or by becoming a YouTube member right here. But as always, keep your eyes peeled and your browsers locked to xboxera.com for all of the latest in Xbox news. I'm joined, as always, hasn't been that way for like a month, it's Special Nick!
What's going on? The part-timer's back.
I am back.
You still do podcasts, do you?
Yeah. Occasionally I rock up, like you never know. It feels nice. It feels nice to be back. The team is back together. But we're not alone this week because although Jesse is lurking in the background, we are joined.
He belongs as the voice of God.
The voice of God. We're joined by Joe from Digital Cybercherries. I'm hoping I remembered the developer name correctly, completely off the top of my head. Developers of Hypercharge. Back after, as he was telling us as we were going live, 2 years have passed since you were last on this show.
It's been quite some time. It has. All I can say is I'm sorry for the delays. I am. I really am.
Wow. What have you been up to in 2 years since you were last on? Because you did tell us a little bit, but for the benefit of the lovely people in chat.
So, I mean, very briefly, personally, I recently got married, which was really nice.
Congrats.
And then we're having a baby now. My wife
Double
and I, so
congrats.
that's
Good
awesome.
stuff.
Yeah,
You
that's
won't
all good.
regret either of those decisions at all. Well done.
Well, speaking of someone with two divorces under his belt, let's not go that way. Babies are great. Marriage is up to debate, but I'm sure it'll work out fine.
He's becoming Ross Geller in real life.
That is the joke. That is the joke I've made. I was like, I'm never doing it again because if I do, I will literally become a walking Ross Geller. I can't have that happening.
No, it's crazy, isn't it? Like there's just how much can change, and I mean it's a short period, and just how much has changed since then. There's other things that have gone on, obviously we all have lives and stuff, but
Yep.
And then with the game, we've just been working hard, bringing Hypercharge over to Xbox Series S, X, and One. Been working super hard doing that. And it's taken nearly 2 years to do that. So It's been quite quite the journey,
And it's-
to say the least.
And the
It's
team
in-
is still
it's-
small, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, we have. Well, listen now, we are not 5 indie devs anymore. We're 6.
Ooh, it's growing.
6. Yeah, well, it's somebody who we know personally, so it still is very much like a family business. We want to keep it small because we've got a really a good thing going. You know, we don't want to expand and outsource, dozens of people, but the majority of the development has been 5 of us, and our friend joined a bit more, to the end.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, that's good.
And you've had a bit of an upgrade with the gear. Like you got
I
some
know.
fancy LED lights now.
You like the posters?
Nice camera, posters. I mean, it's all
last-
swanky.
Yeah,
Joe's
last time we
World.
had Joe on. Last time we had Joe on, it was very early days, and I don't know if he had done many podcasts or anything like that. So he had the dodgy camera. He was just
on my
using
Nokia
the mic.
360.
Yeah, he's just using the mic that was built into the headphones, and it's like, mate, massive upgrade since then.
Wow.
We were there on the ground floor, but ground floor.
Well, it was a good. I think it was when we went. Everything went really viral, didn't it? And I shared that
yes.
moment with you guys when it went.
Yes.
To the
It happened
top
while
sellers
you were
and
on the show.
Steam
Yeah,
top
I'll
10,
never
the
forget
Steam
that.
top 10 or something, or
It
something like that happened.
it went to number 2 for a few days. In the end,
Live on air.
2. Yeah, it was unbelievable what was happening then. It was insane. So it was nice to share that with you guys. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, it was good.
Aw, it's lovely. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because
What?
Hypercharge is out in
No.
reviewers' hands right now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. See, but you're also branching out beyond just Hypercharge, right? And I'm sure I've seen over the last couple of years, you've gone on this journey of promoting this passion project between friends. You've done your PC release. The console release is imminent. It's out next week.
It is on Switch, though.
It is on Switch.
It was already on Switch.
Oh, okay. But you also have started doing PR for other games. In fact, I think, and keep me honest, you've launched your own PR company to help promote other indie games. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. That since
See,
it all
I pay attention to what guests
You
are doing.
are, yeah.
I just knew that in my head.
No, that's it. I started to. My main gig is with digital Cybercherries, my best friends.
Yep.
And sort of for a confidence, it was more for my confidence. It was I wanted to expand and do more consultancy for myself. I don't do loads of it, to be honest. It's just more. I do a lot of stuff for free to help indie devs if I can as well. Because I'm in a better position now than what I was. But it was just it was more my self-esteem, confidence, build it up. I left the family business, as you guys know. I was a painter and decorator before this.
Yeah.
And it's just. I mean, I should have mentioned that when you asked what I've been doing. Yeah, been building that up, and ended up designing my own game with a friend called Don't Scream. This was like on the side, just a very small project, and that was really fun. But the digital
Can I ask you a favor?
Yeah.
Because I jumped on the Twitter for Don't Scream, and it's one of those Unreal Engine 5 horror games that looks like almost the real. That's got that fisheye-ish style camera. But I read the bio on it, and I got confused. I obviously misread it. It said if you don't scream, because if you scream, it's over. It's basically over. But I read it as you have to scream to move.
So
Or did I misread it?
You misread it. So you're making me double think now. Did I write it wrong? No. So essentially, if you scream, you restart. The challenge: explore the forest for 18 minutes without screaming. The catch: time only ticks when you move. So you have to move in the game. You play it. Yeah. So it's just a fun little experience, a side thing, But it did go quite bonkers last Halloween. To be honest, it went insanely viral.
I remember seeing it.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's a fun. If you have like friends and family who get scared easy, it's really fun. Like there's a little get together or party, really fun. I mean, my wife was the main play tester, and yeah, I didn't get many meals
She
cooked
bricks.
after that.
Oh, you put her through the ringer on that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing, amazing. I mean, you know, you talk about the journey of bringing Hypercharge to Xbox, 2 years. I mean, can you share a little bit about? And I can see people in the chat, and we'll talk about the elephant in the room, because I think Xbox players, particularly when it comes to smaller games, have been conditioned somewhat to expect certain things, and they can't always go that way, right? And you know, not every game gets that deal, but we'll come to that in a minute, and
Yep,
we'll talk
no
about
worries.
why. Perhaps you can put a pitch out there for why people should still pick it up, despite what it isn't, you know. But 2 years, what's that journey involved? Like in terms of development of Hypercharge, from taking the Steam version, is it a lot of optimization? Is it thinking about additional features that the
It's
console support
modes.
that
They were
PC
adding
doesn't?
extra modes and everything to it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's what I want to know, man. So I'm giving Joe the floor.
So yeah, so I'll go to the beginning. When it went, really viral, when we announced it officially for Xbox, there was the reception was, wow. Out of everybody, this game seems to be resonating so much as with Xbox players. And just to put it out there, when I talk like this, it's never about. Maybe it does sound like this, but I never mean it to. It's not favoritism or console wars or play. It's just the Xbox. It just the game seems that they just, from what I saw anyway, the Xbox community seemed to be the most vocal with it going viral at the time. And when it went that viral, we had got always feedback from a lot of Xbox players about the game. Some of them would buy it on Steam, and they'd still want it on Xbox, and they would just give us so much feedback. And I've said this many times before. If we wanted to in 2022, we probably could have spent 6 months, rushed it, outsourced it to a porting, company who can port it over. Thought, you know what, leave it in their hands. You just let them do it. Let's just quickly get a quick cash grab, maybe try Games Pass, or we'll just get the game out there as quick as possible. But we didn't want to do that. We thought, you know what, there's a lot of great ideas here. We also want to get it out, not just on the Series X, we want to get it out on Xbox One. And we also want to get it out on the Series S. We also want it to be optimized. And as for performance, we're across all the consoles, we're targeting 60 plus FPS, even on the Xbox One, and it runs amazing. But the optimization was a big thing as well, making sure it runs really well, and the testing. So we're a small team, 6 indie devs. We did a lot of testing ourselves, but we're using. We don't have a big budget. I mean, we basically have still a non-existent marketing budget. We don't really have a budget. We have enough just to pay us. And
We know how you feel.
Yeah. So we all chipped in to spend money on a proper QA firm to help us. Additionally, it was a lot of money for us anyway to get it really tested on Xbox, and this took months and months and months. And we also got anybody who's got any experience in like game development understands cross-platform implementing that. And there's only so much I can go into the articulate the
nitty-gritty of it.
The program can do that, but it was a hell of an amount of work to get cross-platform. So because you have to understand, it isn't just about getting it to work just between Xbox and Steam. You have to get it to work between future-proof it between Switch, Steam, Xbox, and then eventually PlayStation. So it's the whole back-end thing, and it was very, very difficult because I believe we had cross-platform support with Epic Games, something to do with PlayFab. Don't quote me there, I might be wrong, but I know we had to redo a lot of things, change everything, and that took such a long time. So it was the cross-platform support. We never thought it would have cross-platform support because we thought it was too much of a big task for us. And then it was, like you said, the game modes. I mean, we've got Capture the Battery now. We've got Infection. We've got King of the Hill. If I'm missing out on another one now, we have a story campaign now. I mean, the time that's gone into that, a proper story to the game now, where you understand about the lore, the characters. It's this awesome 90s inspired visual motion comic, proper voice actors, everything. So we've really put a lot of love into wanting this to be such a good experience on Xbox. We didn't want it to just be a rush part. Yes, it is I hate using the word part, but it is a part, but it's a labor of love. We've really spent time on this. And there's also other things as well. And it's, I say it a lot. And I get annoyed saying it sometimes. I think, oh, people think it's an excuse, it's that, but it's not. It's like, it's genuine. Lots of things. It's like you guys, when you turn off the computer, you've got your lies, you've got your relationships, your friendships, you've got your mental health. Things happen, and because we're such a small team, each developer on our team, their role is how can I say it, is it's critical. So if Deck, for example, we have basically one programmer, if he gets poorly or something happens, that affects the whole production.
Your whole timeline is
Exactly.
screwed.
And people say, well, can't you just hire someone else? It doesn't work like that. Because you keep handing something over to our baby, our thing, this love. We understand everything, how we work. And also, we can't afford to do that. And the other thing as well, like, I had a terrible thing. I won't go into it, but with my sister in January, that happened. Really, really awful, terrible thing that happened. And that pushes things back. My best friend on the team, his mum, but she was lucky to be alive in an artificial coma. She was very, very lucky
Bloody
woman.
hell.
It was horrendous, and he was off for ages. And we all have to. We all support each other. It's an amazing relationship. But what the point I'm saying is, and I hope it makes sense, is that does happen. We're not just like this on the screen and robots, and then we're up here. We never sleep or
How
anything.
dare you have a life?
Yeah, it's when stuff happens like that, it knocks back development. And I've always tried to be as honest as I can. Like you guys know, I even last time I wear my heart on my sleeve. I've not said to you, Nick, I've not said, can you send me a draft of the questions? You'd say, like, no, I'll love to do it in the moment because I've got.
We're not out to make out. We're not that way inclined.
What do you think about Xbox closing down these 4 studios, huh?
Yeah. How do you feel about Tango? Are you going to hire all those Tango devs, Joe? Are you going to hire them?
Oh my god!
I'd love to help some developers out like that. I would. If I could afford to do it, I would. I genuinely would.
It is a bummer. I think we were just generally mocking. I don't know if you've seen, but there were some interviews with Don Matthews from Ninja Theory, and then out of nowhere, just asking him questions completely unrelated to his game or his life. But we've got to ask the tough questions, and the guy's just like, "What am I meant to say to that, man?" Like, it's just not a nice thing to do. I don't think. No. Poor form. Anyway. It's awesome that it's come that far, and I understand obviously the Steam version is now up to date and has had the benefit of all of this extra love and attention that you've been paying attention to the game over the last couple of years. Yeah. Have you had good feedback from the Steam community that plays the game? Like, oh wow, look at all this new stuff we've got.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so far, I'm just looking now. We've got like we were recently overwhelmingly positive reviews, and we're at nearly 3,400 reviews, 91% positive. Recent ones now are 93%. But the people who love it are the players who like the split screen, like the nostalgia.
Grew up with the games of the past.
Yeah, and it's those
of
type
yesteryear.
of people. Exactly, and those type of people are the type of players who I would just like when the game went viral last year. So this is why I think it resonates with Xbox players. I think it's just because, especially you grow up in the late 80s and early 90s, it hits hard, the nostalgia, that Halo sort of movement and inspired gameplay. It really just resonates really well, you know?
That's amazing. Now I can have a look. I'm going to come to the other question in a minute. The only difficult question I'll ask. But we've got a super chat from Mohammed Sherez. We've got two, really.
Yes. Hi, Joe, Jesse, John, and the Fortnite leaker extraordinaire, Nicholas Baker. Oh, the part-timer is back. Have a good show. Thanks, Mohammed Sherez. He's got another one. Joe, how do you convert the fanfare to sales?
When you say fanfare, you meaning like merch?
All of the positive attention, I think, is what Mohammed means. Is all of that attention and
viral and all that sort of stuff. So how do you convert all of that to sales?
I think it's just, in simple terms, making a good product and make an honest living. Be, just I know it sounds obvious that, but I think it's just if you make a good product and you follow your heart, the fans will follow and they'll know, and it'll build up naturally. I'll be honest, I don't really have a plan with the marketing and stuff. I don't have a bloody MBA in this stuff. I was cleaning gutters out 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm just me, so it's hard for me to answer. That's a good question, but it's hard for me to answer. Yeah.
There's a famous, I can't remember the exact quote, so I'm going to paraphrase it. It was something like Gabe from Valve said that piracy is a service problem, in that if you make a good service, if you remove friction and barriers and make it a place that people want to come to and spend money and play, you won't have that problem. And I think the same thing can be extended to any product, right? So if you just make a good game, people will want to buy it, right? That's the mantra. And I think that's a solid piece of advice. And I hope it rings true for you guys. But obviously there is an elephant in the room, because I've seen it on Twitter and I've seen it in the chat today. So this isn't to trap you, but this is what it is. Lots of people would obviously love for the game to come to Game Pass. Game Pass is an extremely popular Xbox subscription service, but not every game comes to Game Pass. It's just the way of the world. Some get deals, some don't. It doesn't speak to the quality of the game in any way. It's just what Microsoft feel they want or need, or whatever the case may be. We don't know the inner workings, right? But it's my understanding that Hypercharge at present is not coming to Game Pass at launch next week, right? So
Correct.
yeah, like, just to quell anybody in the chat that's like, oh shucks, I get it. As a consumer, it's sure as hell lovely not to have to fork out more money, but you get to play as tiny little toys. So yeah, I mean, is that something you guys pursued? And again, not trying to trap you, so if you can't really talk about any conversations that you may or may not have had, feel free to just be like, I can't really comment on that. It's fine.
Completely fine to talk about it. So I'll go back to, because I see it's a minority who pick it, doing like, it almost feels to me like gotcha moments. They're picking up past tweets from 2022, maybe 2023, when I was doing tweets about Game Pass. So I made these tweets about when it was all going viral. I'd say, Xbox players, do you want the game on Game Pass? And it would always get loads of traction.
Yeah.
Looking back in hindsight, maybe I was naive, maybe I was wrong for doing that. But I did it because it was to, and this is the honest truth, it was to see how Xbox players would react. And we were interested in Games Pass, if it could be a possibility, at the time. And it was to try and get the eyes of Xbox themselves. Because look, when I say nobodies, but in the grand scheme of things, we're just this random indie game. We still relatively are, really. We're not this big AAA game. We're having to work so hard to get the exposure we're getting and stuff. And it worked. It got a lot of traction every time I did it. And at the time when I was doing it, it was never off the table. Where it wasn't me like, oh, we're never coming on Games Pass, I'm going to keep tweeting like this and just, It was never that. Honestly,
in a way, it always read to me of Microsoft, like, if in the future when you got in the room, you could be like, look how many people really wanted it. Look at the reaction here. You can almost point to it and be like, see? Yeah. Like, you should give us this. But
again, maybe I was naive. Maybe I shouldn't have done it looking back. I understand where people are coming from, but in the next breath, it's like, can you understand why we were doing it? And then it was regards to Xbox, so they've been absolutely amazing. They've given us so much support, and they're giving us a lot.
Is this the Idea Xbox team? Yeah,
this is Xbox themselves.
Oh wow!
So they've given us so many. A lot of them, Xbox UK have reached out. Other ID Xbox, there's quite a lot of them who want to help push the launch as much as they can.
Yeah.
And that is a result of, because of all the hype and stuff that we can say, look Xbox, this is what's happened. We don't have, I can't just ring up Phil Spencer, hey Phil, can we, Games Pass, put us on it, it don't work like that. it doesn't, and maybe for a big game it does, but not for us. And when we had some talks with them, because there was such a big gap and it was frustrating for all of us. You know, we were frustrated with the delays when it was such a big gap. We met up with some of the lovely folks at Xbox at GDC, and men talked about Games Pass, and we needed to have a meeting about it. And we have spoken to them about Games Pass when it really went viral months after, and it was always a discussion, open discussion to be had. But I think because we had that big gap between talking to them because we were working so hard on the game, nothing really transpired. And I'm not blaming Xbox there. It's just because maybe we could have pushed harder for it, but it was through a few things. We don't have a direct line with Xbox. It does take time to establish communication and build relationships. And we were afraid, especially me, because I'm the face of the company, so to speak, for Hypercharge. It's like, guys, like if we go, it could take months to set up Game Pass. We might not get it. This is going to be delayed even further. We can't keep delaying it now. We have to say, look, this is where we're drawing the line here. So that was a bit of a scary thing for me and the team. And also, and this is true, some more information since 2022 has come out about the dynamics of Game Pass. There's things like, is it as profitable for certain games as it's made out? You know, there's all them stats that came out. I don't know too much how true it is or not, but stuff has come out. And also, the game has evolved since then. Hypercharge is primarily designed for couch co-op, especially for Xbox. So we're like, well, you know, is it the type of game that should come on Game Pass when it's not? It's not a live service type of game. It's not a type of game where, how can I say it? It's not like your Helldivers, for example, in terms of like there's so much incentives to keep replaying through these battle passes. I was about to
say it's not an engagement-driven.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not replayable, but there is a certain drop-off point. If you see, it is an experience as well. Hypercharge. It's easy to jump in and out of. You know, pick up where you last was, and it was just we don't think it's the right fit for a game for a Game Pass at launch based on what we've learned about Game Pass and the nature of the game. Now, again, maybe we're wrong. Maybe we've got it so wrong. You know, maybe we should have pushed talks with Xbox. Maybe we should have gone on it, but it's just what we feel. And it's not to say it'll never go on Game Pass. And just to point this out, my whole statement thing that I put out, I've seen this a lot, not just with Hypercharge, and it's a minority. I probably can't escape this, but it isn't saying it's Xbox players. It's saying it's specific people or trolls who will all the time, Game Pass we ain't playing, game's dead on arrival, Game Pass we ain't buying. Can you imagine when you spent? We know we spent so hard on something, and and it's upsetting for me as well when people bring up the tweets in the past, and I'm like, I can understand why it may look a certain way, but I'm like, we're not hidden. We're just
it's funny because, you know, we see it's not the same, but the trolling and the inherent toxicity in gaming communities is ever so frustrating to encounter, because, you know, and we feel awful because sometimes we'll review a game and we'll be like friendly with the developer, and then we'll play it and we'll be like, you know, and sometimes we'll be like, oh my god, and then, you know, and then we have to follow our own roles in this world, right? We have to speak our truth and so on. I've just copped a load of kicking for giving Hellblade 2 a 10, right? And it was even more amusing is I did a review
kicking from me for it.
You did give me
Don't
a kicking.
worry about what he copped.
I haven't had a
online.
kicking from our community though. My community go like, I get it, and I'll explain. We'll talk about Hellblade 2 later. But I even did a video review roundtable, right? And I was the only guy that was like, I absolutely loved this experience, this feeling that the whole product gave me cohesively, yada yada yada. And yeah, you read the comments in that video, and my God, I'm being called all sorts of things. Oh. And it can't ever be, this person has an opinion that differs from my own. And it can't ever just end there. It has to be, they are wrong, and they're a shill, and it's just
Is this
name.
true?
It devolves into name calling, and it's horrible.
There's a super chat about this from
There
Reese.
is. Go on. What does Reese say?
£5 super chat. Hello, Joe, and he can't wait to play Hypercharge. Your X account, dude, don't call it X. It's Twitter. It'll always
Twitter.
be Twitter.
He
The
said
artist
he had a
formerly known as
very
Twitter.
tight character limit.
Yeah, I know. Your X account addresses a lot of the trolls. Why do you feel it necessary to interact with them and or being so open?
Good question. So, I am a lot better than I was since 2022. It really, I found it hard through what I was going through. You know, I spoke to Nick a bit about it in the past as well. Things would get to me, and I can deal with it much better. But I think Can I swear on this podcast?
You can fucking swear your tits off.
I can. Really bastard. Sensitive motherfucker. I am.
Excuse me.
I am a sensitive motherfucker. I've got a lot of empathy, and that's a blessing and a curse. I think it's why I'm good at my job, so to speak. And it's but more to the point, I think it's very important to speak out about certain things, and because there's a lot of indie devs who are afraid, a lot of game developers, and I think our industry as a whole is in a very, how can I say it, like a more of a unique spotlight, because there's so many people who just, it's very easy to say things about games and forget who makes them, and that could be, it's community managers, social media managers. These people get the brunt of so much stuff, as you guys know yourself, and I think it's good to talk about it. Again, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. He's wanting attention, is this and that, and I'm like, part of it is I would like a bit of support, and it helps me, because honestly, without our fans, I probably wouldn't be able to do this job. I want to talk about it. I wanted to talk about Game Pass. It wasn't saying Game Pass is bad. Like, I've used it for a long time. Game Pass is also great because it allows you to save money for other indie games. It's got those, but it's so annoying, guys. Like, and Wandering Dutch, don't you?
We do know one. I do know the Wandering Dutch. Yeah, lovely chap.
He's helped me moderate the live streams for me, and we get a lot of viewers.
He's a really nice dude.
Yeah,
doesn't surprise
nice
me
guy.
that he offered that. So
and because of the toxicity, and it's literally it's always games dead on arrival, DOA. Look at the Steam chats, always stuff, and it's just like, again, when it's our business, it's our labor of love. It's so frustrating. And the tweet was aimed at the people with this mindset of, hang on a minute, like, why are you saying it's dead on arrival? Or what do other people say? It's not being financially viable and all this weird stuff. And I'm like, but why are you saying that? Hypercharge is also an offline experience that we added for players. You can play the whole game offline with player bots. How can a game be dead on arrival if it's designed for couch co-op, couch PvP? So I just wanted to make the tweet, be like, look, guys, can we, like, this is getting a bit frustrating. It's a bit upsetting. Like, and it isn't just one person. Sometimes I get a bit frustrated because sometimes I'm like, I'll go in Photoshop, shall I screenshot everything? Hundreds of comments, nasty comments. I'm like, nah, it's pointless. Shouldn't have to justify it. But so it's a long answer, but it's just, I think it's good to talk about it, to create a discussion, especially from somebody unknown, because maybe it's always somebody a bit more known who will talk about it. But I don't think people talk about stuff enough anyway. I really don't. And it created a discussion anyway, and it was a good discussion on the post. I learned a lot.
Yeah. I mean, don't let anyone beat you up for having empathy and feeling emotion. Like, we made a book, and I've told this story before, and I'm sure I probably mentioned it 2+ years ago, right? That book, shipping it was delayed because I went through my own crap, divorce and life changing and stuff like that. But when we did the Kickstarter and we announced it and the video went live and it was a premiere, there was so much build-up and so much work and so much back and forth with the printers and showing it off and working on it. And then seeing the reaction, I won't lie, a single masculine tear came down my face while I was sitting off camera watching it, the reaction, because it was really cathartic and heartwarming to see so many people being like, holy shit, this looks awesome. And that's like, it's like this big relief pressure. This pressure casket goes off. You're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
We were right to pursue that. We were right to go ahead and try and do something cool and different. So don't let anyone knock you for having a heart, bro. It's all good in my book.
I'm watching
I can
a
see
clip
lots.
at the moment, and they're jumping in the toilet. They're jumping in the toilet in
game.
Hypercharge. I'm just watching the clip, and whoever's playing is jumping in the toilet.
I mean, there is some comedy about like being really small, you know, vibe that small soldiers vibe and all of that jazz. And I've seen while we've been chatting, there's plenty of people in the chat that like, you know, yep, I've just ordered it. I can't wait to pick this up. You know, da 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 da. So it's always nice to see, right?
There's another super chat from Reese. Follow-up super chat. Honestly, Twitter isn't a real place. You don't have to justify or address them. The game, your baby, looks very special. Let it speak for itself. GG.
Yeah. No, that's very true.
It's all good, isn't it? I love these guys. I love this community. They're all lovely people.
You do tend to learn, and I'm learning, and my wife helps me with it. It is real minority, but it's this cliche, obvious thing. It always seems to be the loudest, and I think because I'll do live streams on TikTok, I'm doing the Instagram, the Facebook, and it's gotten really popular. Like TikTok, we have like nearly 700,000 followers. Facebook, 20,000 followers. Instagram, this is for Hypercharge, 120,000 followers. Twitter is 60,000, and other places we post. And it's because I love it, but then it comes in waves. No, it just comes in waves. It's just,
yeah. Like,
and don't forget on the whole Game Pass argument, like we had Abubakar Salim on a little while back, who's just a horrific name dropper. We had him on not long ago.
There's an inside joke there. Don't bite it, Boo. If you end up watching this, don't listen to him.
And he was telling us how, you know, he set a specific price for the game because he wanted it to hit a price point where it's like, what's the price of pizza and all that. So, and you know, Tales of Kenzera Zao didn't launch onto Game Pass either. And I had a look at the price of Hypercharge. It's a similar price to Tales of Kenzera. It's not a $70 game. It's not a $60 game. It's in that. I'm not going to say impulse. That's probably the wrong word to say impulse buy, but it's in that range where you're like, despite it being a new game, it's like, oh, okay, is that all it is? Oh, fair enough, I'll grab it. Like we've seen people in the chat say, yeah, just grab that now. It's not priced in a way that should deter people who would be interested in something like this.
Yeah.
I don't
think. We're not
think.
being greedy with it. You know, we priced it at that because we did want it to be more accessible. And they're honestly, I'm not going to name any, but there's some indie games, a lot, that charge a lot more than what we are, with a lot less features in terms of like your split screen, your offline, being able to play with bots. You know, we offer a lot.
Yep.
Must feel good. Nearly there, mate. Nearly there. When is the game out? Tell the chat.
Isn't it?
May the 31st, yes. I don't know the exact time. No, on a Friday.
Oh, it's a Friday. Beg your pardon. Yeah, Christ,
so
I'm getting my dates completely wrong. I've just opened my calendar. So this coming Friday, 6 days from now.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yep.
It still doesn't feel real, to be honest with you.
Yep. And Geordie with the super chat can confirm Hypercharge Unboxed on Xbox is mint.
Oh, hi, Geordie.
Hey, that's breaking an embargo. I think, you know.
Yeah. I think it might be.
I love it. Yeah, and lots of people are saying in the chat, price super fair. People are wish listing it. Already purchased 2 copies with my friend. I think lots of people are looking forward to just getting all small soldiers and having fun.
Yeah, yeah. Again,
like, that's all that gaming's about. Having fun.
Yeah, that's all it is. And again, I get the Game Pass thing, but I hope did I make some sense with what I was trying to explain?
Yeah, you don't have to justify it, but yes, like it isn't like I can totally understand in the moment, like totally thinking, okay, well, there's all this hype from this crowd. They do love the subscription. Maybe that might be good for us. We don't know. We're figuring this out as we're going. And then as you learn a little bit more and you get further along, and maybe, like you say, the comms don't line up and things don't work in the way that you always want them. Regardless, the game's coming out. There's nothing to stop Microsoft from picking up the phone in 8 weeks and being like, hey, it's really popular. You don't know. It happens all the time. You'll see indie games come out and people will play them and buy them, and then 6 months later, suddenly they're in Game Pass for a year. And you're like, oh, cool. There's nothing. It's all good. It's all good. There's the thing that people need to realize more than anything else is there are so many games that come out every day, not just on Xbox, on Steam and all the platforms. We get a bundle of absolutely tons. Like there's usually in the 10 to 15 to 20 titles every week from the Idea Xbox team that we can go and check out and try out. And that's every week. Can you imagine trying to do 20 reviews every week for every game that ever comes out, ever on the platform? And if they're all going to try and get a Game Pass deal, sometimes it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
ID at Xbox on average is about 80 to 100 games a month. That's just ID at Xbox.
Oh, wow. I didn't know
Crazy.
that. Wow.
You know what you should do? You should take a leaf out of Rainbow Six Siege's book and do like a partnership deal with Control and have a hypercharge flavor of Control, and then we can get people to go to www.drinkcontrol.com/XboxEra and get some delicious meal replacement. I don't know what the hypercharge flavor would be, but it actually sounds quite good if there was a hypercharge flavor. Yeah, it really does. John finally got his, didn't you, John?
I did get mine.
Yeah.
They actually sent me through a really amazing care package. I did post a picture of it on Twitter. It came with like a cookie and a cake thing and another cake thing and another thing and a big pack of the powder.
John's not the same level of sweet tooth that Jesse and I.
The crazy thing is, I really am, but I do need to try it with like a banana or something to try and like mellow it out a little bit. It's very sweet for me, but that's not to disparage anyone that absolutely adores it. It just might not be my flavor. Maybe I need to find my flavor a little bit more. But yeah,
I don't know, but I just noticed that they did like a partnership with Rainbow Six Siege, which was really, really odd when I saw that. I think they've got like a flavor or something with Rainbow Six Siege. That's why I made that joke about Hypercharge. But yes.
This isn't a super chat, and I'm going to read this out because I can see I think he's talking about you, Joe. He says, "I know for sure that this man has imposter syndrome, but he's achieved more than most people ever will. He's created something with more skill and flourish, and yet doubts himself. And you shouldn't, Joe. We all have imposter syndrome. Yeah. You've made a really cool game.
Nick does not have imposter syndrome.
I don't.
No,
I don't.
Not even a little.
Nick doesn't. No, Nick thinks he's a fucking expert in everything.
I don't.
There's another super chat.
Yep, Assassin Entertainment. As a Siege fanatic, collabs are a good way to expand the audience. Would really be interested in a Master Chief or Doomslayer skin. Just saying. Ooh,
that would be
like
awesome.
Action figure Master Chief.
Oh,
that
would be
so
very cool.
He-Man license, get Skedaddle and
from Xbox potentially. We spoke about really nice guy about maybe having like a Master Chief pre-order thing, but we couldn't get it set up, and it was also problems like we were like, well, what happens? Steam players aren't going to be allowed. How do we give it to Steam players? It's from a technical side and also another side because we want it to be accessible for everybody. But
yes,
yeah. Sometimes it's best to just parody that stuff and have fun with it rather than go for something official.
That's what makes Hypercharge really fun. It's the parody versions as well. Like people always say, "Is that Goku?" And I'm like, "No, it's Broku."
Is that Beyblade? No, it's Hey Nade. I don't know, like whatever. Oh, amazing. Well, wishing you the best of luck for launch. I have to ask in all of this time, because one of the big topics of this week has been And it's an interesting one as a counterpoint, talking about price and what's in the package. And, from an indie game development point of view, have you had a chance to play Ninja Theory's latest title, Xbox exclusive, Hellblade 2?
I've not yet, no. I'll be honest, I never really knew much about the first one in terms of what it involved, the gameplay. I just remember how good it looked.
Yeah.
And I've seen some gameplay clips and some streamers play it, and I was blown away. Just it looks phenomenal. Like it makes me want to be part of the journey. Like I need to experience this. It looks amazing. Like I think they've set a new sort of different type of standard in a way of like, I don't know. It looks amazing though.
It is definitely the prettiest game I've ever played on anything ever. Like head, knees, and shoulders above the rest. It is absolutely jaw dropping to look at, and I have to give kudos to Digital Foundry. John Lilliman's breakdown of the actual tech behind the game and what it actually did was really, really in depth, and also explains a lot about why they made some of the graphical choices they did across console and PC. But yeah, it's proved it's being framed again as a rather divisive release. God, we've got to go into this. Really, it's going to be.
Is this what we've been playing? Are we going to talk about Hellblade 2?
We may as well. We may as well. Normally, that's what we do. So let's talk about what we've been playing. And I think outside of you, Joe, we've all been playing Hellblade 2.
Well, no. Before we dive, we're gonna do it properly. We're going to talk about what we've been playing. Now, Joe, am I allowed to say yet that I've been playing Hypercharge?
You can say whatever you like.
Don't do what Geordie did in Breaking Bargoes, though, giving impressions, because that's against the reviewer's code.
I don't know what I'm allowed to say.
You know what I always think with PR games is it's been on PC. You can just talk about the base game itself, because that is already there on PC. Just don't talk about the Xbox version specifically.
But I don't have a PC. I have a Mac.
But you can just talk about the actual game. What is the game? Not as how does it feel on Xbox? How does it run? Yeah, but you're not going to talk about how it runs. You don't have to talk about exactly how it feels. You can just talk about the base game and what it is.
I don't think the lovely folks at Digital Cybercherries are going to mind.
Joe's like live on the show. He can tell me what I'm not.
He's the boss.
To say. He's right there. He can tell me. What can I say?
I'm fine with you saying anything. If you want to give a preview to the listeners, it's fine by me, honestly.
Well, look, I've started the game. Jesse's reviewing it. I've started the game, and everyone knows I don't play many games because I'm too busy with Rocket League and Fortnite.
Something we're going to have to change.
And I didn't jump straight into the game. I went into the tutorial because I usually do the tutorial thing with most games I've played. So it's been giving me an intro into the mechanics and how, like, obviously what tutorials do, work you through, hey, do this to jump and do this to, and then it took me through some scenarios, and I've just been working my way through that at the moment. Which version of Unreal are you guys in?
I don't know the exact version. I'm pretty sure.
Is it 4? It's not 5, is it? It's 4.
No, sorry, it's not Unreal Engine 5. It's Unreal Engine 4 point something. I can't remember.
Yeah. Because it's a very pretty game.
Yeah.
Actually,
did you get to did you hear the soundtrack in the tutorial? The guitar.
Oh
Please
God,
tell me
I might have.
that.
I might
it's
have.
so good, Nick. It's so good.
Oh, I might have, Joe. Is this Are we about to find out that you're a moonlighting guitarist in your spare time?
Ulrich, my friend on the team, he made the song himself, and it's really.
Oh,
good.
really?
It's sort of AC/DC inspired.
Yes. Now that you said AC/DC, yes. Because I remember thinking that at the time. Now that you said AC/DC, that triggered my memory. Yes. They're an Australian band. That's probably why I remember. But yeah, so I'm playing Hypercharge at the moment, and I won't say stuff beyond what I'm supposed to say because I haven't played through all of it yet. It's Jesse that's reviewing it. And I haven't played it on Steam because I have a Mac. And just like Tales of Kenzera Zhao's not on Mac, I don't think Hypercharge is on Mac either.
No.
Nothing's
Mac
on Mac
owners out here starving. We got no games. I know how it feels double now. No games on Xbox and no games on Mac. I cop a double. See? I have it worse than everyone. There you go. What else have I been playing? I've been playing through my stocks there. The Fortnite event just ended and a new season has started. And did you see what's in there? Fallout. Fallout's part of this season. Where did we hear about that, guys?
I heard so that.
No, I
Did we
did.
hear about that first? Yay, it was here.
Oh.
Yes, it's a very and this isn't me leaking anything, but based on the description of this season, and if you've anyone who's played Fortnite, I would be staggered if there isn't going to be a Mad Max collab with Furiosa. I would be staggered because this entire season is just Mad Max. It's literally Mad Max in Fortnite.
It's Wasteland inspired, right? So
yes. But there's like a Thunderdome, and you're in there, and there's all this stuff happening, and all your cars.
And they
have
use the
guns
word
on them
chrome
and-
in their advertisements. Like it very much feels like
What does that mean? What does that mean?
chrome. The friggin' chrome's a big thing for Mad Max Fury Road. Like they were spraying themselves with the chrome spray paint, and they had the blood and black and chrome edition. So yeah, it feels like it's definitely going to be Mad Max.
Yes, it does. It does feel either they've got a collab coming, or they've decided they're just going to cash in on Mad Max Furiosa coming out, and they're just like ripping off all the Mad Max stuff. But Fallout's part of the Battle Pass. Magneto, another one that we leaked, is also part of the Battle Pass. So I started that again, just a couple of matches, because one of the main games I've actually been playing is Hellblade II. Believe it or not.
yeah, how you feeling about not being able to skip any of those cutscenes on the first go round?
Oh my god. It does
You
let
know-
you skip a couple. It does actually let you skip a couple of them. I think maybe it's because I'd already played them.
Yeah, you only
Yes.
let you skip a cutscene if you completed
Yes,
it.
if you've
that
already
part.
done it. So as I said last week when I was on with Jesse, because John doesn't really jump on the podcast anymore. I didn't get one of the initial codes for Hellblade 2, but I did eventually get a hashtag gift from Xbox and get a code, which means I was obliged to play it, because people who know me know this isn't my sort of game.
Mhm.
Slow walk and talk, cutscene heavy, whatever, all that sort of stuff. Yes, I agree with John. Visually, there's nothing out there that comes close. Like, the bar's been set now on console. The bar has been set and it's almost unrealistically high. To me, though, so I differ to John and Jesse on where I sit on this game.
You
Yeah, I
are
think
Mr.
so. I
Gameplay.
had
You are
a-
not Mr. Experience. You are gameplay focused all the
No.
time.
So I had a robust discussion with John in DMs about his review score for this game.
Robust. I gave the game a 10.
Oh my
As
God.
as did
Not a 10.
24 other reviewers on OpenCritic. It's not like you're alone.
Not a-
Over
I'm not an outlier here,
35
Nick.
gave it over a 9.
It's not.
And
a
if-
10.
Okay.
It-
I'll let you speak and then I'll say my piece.
Look,
It's fine. Go on, you just go ahead.
I take issue with this game's reviews at both ends of the scale. Not just the 10s. I take issue with the disingenuous folks giving it 4s and 5s and all that sort of shit. For anyone watching, and I'm going to probably bring the waves onto me now when I say this. If you see a take, I saw a few takes today, I saw a few takes at launch. Some even came from people I like. If you see a take on Twitter, social media, in a review on this game that says the words, I loved the first game, loved it, but this one disappointed me so much. If you see that, ignore that person. Because that person's either lying, being disingenuous, or they're upset that it's an Xbox game now. Because this game, warts and all, whether you like it or not, whatever, Hellblade 2 is Hellblade 1, but prettier. So if someone loved the first game, it's impossible for them to hate the second game. It's literally impossible. So if you see that take out there, ignore that review. because that person's just disingenuous. Same with, but there's other opposite. If someone didn't like the first game, then I could totally understand them not liking the second game.
That's literally the con I put in my pros and cons of my 10. If you didn't like the first one, you ain't gonna like this one either, because
You won't like it.
And the reason, like, I don't necessarily disagree with your take there, but what I would say is people that say I really love the first one, but this one disappointed me, I think are more focusing on the story element. The first Hellblade was a very personal story, very much about grief and and what Senua did to overcome it and accept it in herself. Whereas the second Hellblade is a much broader tale, almost a tale of redemption, and it touches on a ton of different themes. The sins of the fathers. Are we destined to become like the people that made us? Power and being angry at the world. All of these different themes, and it has these segments that it plays through that talk about these things. And again, I don't want to spoil it for people that may still be playing through it. It is very short. But the reason it got a 10 from me is because as an experience, as I played through it, I have never felt more immersed. I have never felt more engaged. And all of those elements that Ninja Theory crafted, from audio to the narrative, to as someone who enjoys narrative, right? And if you look at the other 10s I've given as a reviewer, What Remains of Edith Finch, a walking simulator with an incredible narrative that, conversely to Hellblade, is delivering its narrative through gameplay, right? Whereas Hellblade is delivering its narrative with light interaction, heavy narrative, audio, and visual. So the reason it got a 10 from me fundamentally was that as an experience, when I finished it, I was emotionally affected. I was invested on the journey, and it got me so many points, like the Descent area, which they clearly were fans of the movie. Have you seen The Descent? The underground horror movie? Mm-hmm. That whole section, I don't know if you've got there, but after that section, there's a bit right at the end where you are utterly surrounded, and I was so immersed. I was like, trying to survive, because I'd ramped the difficulty up. I think a lot of reviewers played this on dynamic. If you ramp the difficulty up to hard, it's a lot more, from a gameplay perspective, engaging. But yeah, the whole combination of all of those different elements is what made it a 10 for me. I completely agree that the gameplay is shallow, but it's designed to be. It's not designed to be a precision.
Exactly the same as the first game.
Exactly right.
So I see people going, the combat is like, we had Gene Park on a couple of weeks ago, who was great. Loved Gene. But I saw him say that the combat was simpler. And I'm like, the combat is either identical or slightly deeper.
You don't have the B button for punching and kicking. That's the main difference.
And also, you're usually in an arena with lots of enemies, and they'll maybe they'll wait their turn and they'll be around. And the evolution of it for Hellblade 2 was you have these dynamic cutscenes where you are in control from a combat perspective, but the way the enemies will come in and replace it in the 1v1 is super cool, because you'll have your hand of the enemy will grab you on the shoulder and spin you around and bosh you in the face, and then you'll be in the next fight, or someone will come in and stab them, and then you'll be rolling over, and it feels so visceral. And when and it's an interesting one. When you've got the headphones on and you're playing in the dark, and you are playing through the experience that Ninja Theory designed for you in the way that they designed it to be played, not streamed to a phone while you're out and about, right? Mm-hmm. That's not the way to play this game, right? Just saying. You're meant to be suddenly involved in it, and you're meant to sort of feel everything that she feels, and I think that they nailed that. And it's interesting. I'm not going to do an Abu and name drop. I had a very prominent games industry person just ping me randomly out of the blue and just say, I don't have any skin in the game here. I'm paraphrasing here. Don't have any skin in the game, but I don't feel like some of these reviews have taken the game as it was intended to be as an experience. No, they've played it as, and they've gone in with their own preconceptions. Even I had preconceptions about what Hellblade 2 was going to be before it released. It was going to be it was going to be Xbox's answer to God of War. They were going to flesh it out with AAA. And then they came out and they said, we're making everything we wanted to make, but we're just dialing it up to 11. It's going to be another short experience, exactly the kind of game that you played before. And they put it out there. But those preconceptions, I think, flavoured so many people's opinions that they was just they couldn't help but let it show through in some degree.
I was saying it here for the longest time. It's just going to be the first game, but prettier. I kept telling everyone.
Really
it's
is
just going to be
pretty.
I mean, look, I'm still disappointed in the black bars. I'm still disappointed in the 30. I do think it's going to get a 60 mode later. I reckon this is a Starfield Redfall situation where the 60 will come later. Like, there were moments. I haven't watched the Digital Foundry video to know, but there were moments in the game, and I'm not very far into it because I'm trying to get the collectibles at the same time.
Honestly, I wouldn't play it that way.
I can't help myself. There were moments in the game where I noticed that hit 60. Just for like a random second or two, it was hitting 60. And I'm like, that's weird.
Nah,
why
it can't be. It's a locked 30 throughout, like a genuinely flawless locked 30.
Well, then maybe there's something funny going on with VRR on my TV, because I can see 60 and I can see 30 and I can see 120 thanks to Fortnite and Rocket League. And there are these random moments where it goes above 30. It's like for a second. It's for like a second. And I'm like, this is odd. I'm like, why is it doing this? It's very weird. And maybe it's my TV because I've got an LG OLED with VRR. So I don't know if it's got maybe something to do with that. I have no idea, but I've seen it.
To my knowledge, it's a flawless locked 30. But you're right in that Digital Foundry got their Frankenstein's console PC, where they've taken the Series X AMD chip, the same one that's in the Series X. They've taken a relatively similar GPU that's in the PS5, and that's kind of similar to the Series X as well, just a little bit less. And they've adjusted the settings. Can we get 60 FPS? The answer is very nearly. Not locked.
One thing I'm always curious with that, though. That graphics card itself uses as much power draw as the Series X does. So are they artificially limiting the power draw?
I don't know about power draw, but
because like power draw is the big thing GPUs on PC push so hard is because they can just use like 500 watts now for the top end shit. Like it goes bonkers, and consoles just don't do that.
Could be. I couldn't say, but it technically it could be possible that 60 FPS. But honestly, I don't think it adds that much. It's not that kind of game. It really ain't. Mate, I've played it. I've got an ultra-wide Xenon OLED screen here that goes up to 144 hertz. I've played it at 90 FPS on a 4090 with everything turned up and DLSS and all of that jazz.
You don't think it needs it?
I went back to my 86-inch LG because holy shit, it looks incredible on that screen. It's like I'm playing a movie, man. Like, what's the difference?
Adds to the visuals anyway. It gives that a realism that
you go from it looking like a movie to it looking like a telenovela. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, a soap opera.
Nah, not in a game.
What were you going to say,
I know what
Joe?
you're talking about, but movies do that, not games.
No, I was going to say just I don't know if it's the right comparison, like you're saying, but obviously on your modern TVs you can have like filmmaker mode, and it's
yes.
God,
I
I
hate
how
that.
it's in. Yeah, but I hate watching films if it's not at the intended frame rate. So, and I know my father-in-law, for example, he's got an LG TV and he has it on the higher frame rate, and it's like watching the film on a phone. He prefers it. I can't stand that.
Whenever I go to people's houses, I turn it off.
Yeah, it's off.
I go to their TV settings and I just turn it off because I can't fucking stand it. But yeah, the 30 is bothering me a little bit. Like I said, I did not agree with John's because I'm a bit old.
Do you understand why I put it though? You might not agree with it, but from a personal perspective, because it's a personal opinion, you can understand where I'm coming from when I say it.
I don't know. I'm a bit old school with my 10s, as everyone knows. Like, I think 10s should be saved for like...
You gave it to Alan Wake 2. You were 12 minutes in and skipped every cutscene and still wanted to give it a 10. Come on.
What?
For Alan Wake 2, you handed it out like candy. You were like 15 minutes in. You were like, "Oh, this is a 10."
I didn't want it. I wasn't a 10.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't a 10. I said I can understand you giving it a 10, and I will allow it. I didn't say I'm a,
And I
didn't
laughed
say
because you have nothing to do with the scores anyone gives. I don't even.
Said
I have
I'm
no control over it.
The 10 for Alan Wake 2, but I wouldn't give it. So if I was reviewing Hellblade 2 personally,
What would you give it when you finished it?
Well, again, I haven't finished it yet. So just based on what I've played so far, I would give it something in the 6.5 to 7 range if it was me reviewing it. But that's because it's not my type of game.
Right.
It's not my type of
Ooh.
Oh, that looks. What is that? Is that
Sorry.
yummy? Is that snackies?
Ginger cake.
Oh, now I'm hungry. I've had so much food today.
But
this is the
let
thing.
me just say, as our reviews editor, for me, you shouldn't review. Your score shouldn't just be what you think about a game so much as what is the game. Like, you shouldn't review what you want out of a game. You should review what the game is. And I think that is a very hard thing for a lot of people to be able to detach. Like, when I played Crusader Kings, I'm not into having 50-year-olds marry their 5-year-old cousins, but it's a big part of that game, and people love it.
You're all from Florida.
Yep, you're Europe, which is where that game takes place.
Touche.
Yeah, but like, I'm not into strategy games, but I could tell that game was incredibly well made for that genre and what it was going for. And I do think too many people, and we've seen a lot of people bringing up the Xbox platform situation as reasons to like ding this game, and that's not how it works. You're reviewing the product. Like, if I'm reviewing Hypercharge, I'm not reviewing its PR. I'm reviewing the game. Like, what is this thing? And you've got to be honest and fair about that. And it's like, oh, I find this person who does things for Obsidian annoying, so I'm going to go ping the Outer Worlds or something. Like, you see that from people, and it's ridiculous. And it happened a lot with this game.
And the reason I've given it a 10 is because, in my humble opinion, if it's setting out to, right, this is what I think Hellblade 2 is setting out to do, tell me through imagery, through audio, through gameplay, an incredible narrative, and raise the bar for what a narrative adventure game can be, then I can't say that it's not at the very top of the class of that type of game. It is. If I was reviewing it and they said this is an action RPG, I'd be like, this is a really bad action RPG. It's not that. I can't score it for that. I have to score it for what it is, not for what it isn't, not for what I wanted it to be. Do I wish in some alternate universe that the game looked like this, but also was this really longer, more traditional third-person action adventure game? There is a part of me that would wonders how good it could be, but that's not what Ninja Theory made, so I'm not reviewing that. I'm reviewing what they made. That's why I said you come up with it.
I mean, Jesse always says scores are dumb, and this game is a perfect example of why scores are dumb. And that's why I said, if you're reading a review from anyone who says they love the first game and are claiming they don't like this one, ignore that review. And I say that as someone who would only give it a 6.5 or a 7 myself. But my review would say, hey, I'm not that into this type of game. And what have I always said about the first game? I liked it for what it was.
Yeah.
I didn't say that I loved it. I just said I liked it for what it was. Like, I got the first game because it was on Game Pass. It was an easy 1,000. I thought I'll give it a run through and see what it's like because I didn't play it on PS4. And I thought I'll see what it's like. And I thought, you know what? Not bad. I called it the District 9 of video games. Made look high budget, but it was made on a shoestring budget. Looked AAA, but I liked it for what it was.
Yeah.
The second game is the same game. Just much prettier.
If you're being unkind, you could really say that.
It's a bit reductive.
The writing
to say
is far better. Like the direction, the camera. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's but that's what the game is. The game is a narrative experience with occasional gameplay segments, and that's not for you. That's all.
Yeah.
So
I got to call out.
Oh, sorry.
Go on, Joe.
I was like, do you as reviews then? Do you not give reviews to your reviews who you know really don't like certain genres or certain games? Or
Yeah, we try and pair the game
Right
with the
pair.
person that's. I really play a lot of racing games. Cool. Well, you're the racing game guy. Jesse plays a lot of open world looter shooters. He's the open world looter shooter guy. Nick plays.
If a scrolling beat 'em up comes in, Jesse usually throws it my way.
That's Nick's genre, right?
or if a
If it's an old
fighter
school
comes in,
arcade.
Jesse will probably throw it my way. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do the artsy fartsy indie games
Yeah.
typically. Indiana Jones is going to be an exception because
Changus is our weeb.
Yeah. You know, we have set aside for certain stuff. I mean, there is crossover in that, you know, we all play a fair amount of first person shooters. You know, and you can share the load a little bit, but I'd like to think we've got quite a good team of people that play a variety of genres of game outside of Nick.
Yeah, no, because from what I saw with the Hellblade reviews was like some of these scores, even from somebody who doesn't know much about the game, some felt a bit off. Like what, 4 or 3, something like this. And
I reserve a 4 or a 3 for like something that's getting to the verge of being a bit broken.
It doesn't.
It's just-
it's weird, isn't it? And I think as well. I think sometimes some reviewers will go in, and it's, I don't know if it's the right analogy, but like they'll order a lobster, get it served, and then wonder why it's not chicken. And it's like, but you've ordered this, you know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you to be expected. Were you expecting something almost? You see what I'm saying? Maybe that's not the right thing, but I also think as well, like,
No, I
with
know what you mean.
games- Yeah, with games, it I said this the other day. Making video games is a form of art.
Yep.
In my opinion, it is anyway. And art expresses itself to individuals differently. It's subjective. So, like in your case, if you have to review games, I suppose, from a technical point of view, if things are broken, if the sound design isn't as good, but if something blows you away, like from the sound design, the narrative, the story, and it does something to you, then I can understand why, you know, you'd be like, I've got to give this 10 out of 10, because for me, it delivered a certain thing, and how it made me feel, it nailed, you know,
it nails what it was trying to do. Yeah. What remains of Edith Finch, if you ever get a chance to play it, is another one. Like, I think the only other game I've given a 10 to is Inside, which is a side-scrolling platformer from Playdead. I'm not alone, I think, in
I've never given a
10s on
10.
that. Never given it, apart from to Mario Galaxy.
Because we don't review Nintendo games, yes.
We don't review Super Mario games.
Again, I played through, and I would give like a 7. Technically brilliant. It looks incredible for that hardware. It's not for me. I hate collectathons. I get so bored.
It's literally a perfect video game.
That doesn't exist, Nick. It doesn't have 100 on OpenCritic, so it can't literally be
Calm
one.
down, children. Calm down. Deep breaths. What remains of Edith Finch is, when I played it, the first time I played it, it was sub 30 FPS. It was really bit iffy in its control scheme. It wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but the theme of the game, and I'll try not to spoil it in general, but you are a person of this family who's going back to your old family home, and every room has kind of been sealed off, and you're kind of discovering all of these family diaries about all of these people in your family tree that have died, and it tells each of their deaths through gameplay. So, random example, a little girl went missing, and in her diary there's a story about a dream of she turned into a monster and ate everything, and you play through that sequence of turning into different creatures before you're this tentacle thing that's killing people. It's really hard to describe without it sounding fucking weird. There's this one section where this guy kills himself, right? And he is working in a factory just chopping fish. And the whole time you've got 2 sticks and you are chopping fish all the time. But at the same time, he starts daydreaming, and you are controlling an isometric RPG style, Diablo clone, while you still got to chop those fish. So one side of your brain is suddenly separating, and you're playing through this daydream of where he becomes the king, and then it takes over and he's killed. And it's that kind of delivering narrative ideas and themes and emotion through gameplay that just, it does something to me. I think it's brilliant. Nick and I talk a lot about Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. It's out on Game Pass, the original, not the remake. I reviewed the remake. It's not a 10 out of 10 game in every aspect, but it's the closest and it's the only video game I think that's actually made me genuinely tear up.
Yes, I cried. The only game that made me cry was Brothers.
You play it the whole time you're controlling 2 characters on stick. The whole time. I'm going to spoil it because I need Joe to understand. Controlling the whole thing, big brother, little brother, you're controlling them both, and your brain's like, oh, this is horrible. I've got to try and figure out how to wrestle these 2 guys through various obstacles.
I did not have that problem.
As long as I kept one on the right and one on the left, I was fine. But then, all the way through, every time the younger brother encounters water, the older brother has to help him. So you have to put the sticks together and control and help each other through water. And then later on in the game, the older brother buys the farm, and he comes to the water, and the pad starts vibrating, and you go out on your own with just the one stick, and you can't do it. But if you move both, because your brother's still with you, and when it hits, man, and that's delivering narrative and emotion through gameplay.
Yeah,
Mwah! Chef's kiss.
It's a good game.
And that's what games can do. So cool. Anyway, bit of a ramble there. We have a super chat from Assassin Entertainment in discussing the 60 FPS.
Yes, it's an executive producer, Assassin Entertainment.
Absolutely right.
Yeah. All due respect, if a game looks great at 30, what's the harm in adding 60? That's right, Assassin Entertainment.
I don't disagree.
Sony
never
themselves set 60 as the standard on console. Yes, they did.
I would not suggest that they shouldn't. I'm just saying that I didn't really care.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah,
I love 60 FPS. I would always personally prefer performance over anything else, over graphics. But Hellblade, despite the fact I had the opportunity to sit and review the Xbox PC version at 90, I needed the big screen for this one. That's all I can say.
I don't know.
If a game really focuses on using the right stick for aiming, the more frame rate, the better. But when it's not like that, it's not as important to me.
You're not really spinning the camera around. You are just, well, like all the reviews say, you just hold forward for 5 hours. Am I right?
There's been so many disingenuous takes over this game. And again, I say that as someone who wouldn't have given it a super high score. But I like to read reviews. It's like my issue with this game is similar to what I have with a lot of Sony's games. It's the same kind of issue. But there's been just some really, really disingenuous takes about this game. And it's like, I get it, guys. You hate Xbox. Xbox now has this game and it's got the new visual bar because, Sony's had that for such a long time and now Microsoft's got it and that bothers you guys as well. Just take that out of it and be adults about it. Just, like John said, review it for what it is. Just review it for what it is.
Yeah.
And I purposely put that line in my review because I knew when I'd finished the game that people weren't going to review the game for what it exactly is.
Oh, we talked about it in the lead up to release. We said this game would be the litmus test for the Xbox tax. You knew that this would be the game that did it.
And
there
we've
were so many people that loved the first game. I won't name this reviewer, but there was one reviewer pointed out to me that someone discovered a tweet of theirs from 2017 when they played Hellblade 1. Oh my God, this game is so important and it's so amazing. And then the second game comes out and they gave it a really low score. And it's like, I don't understand how you can do that when they're the same game.
And we've talked before where like people say a 6 or a 7 is fine or good for them, but it's not. With a bigger release. Bigger releases tend to be 7's pretty mediocre. 8, it was pretty good. 9, it was very good. Scale. Yeah, like the scale starts at 7 for good. So if you're below 7, you're giving it a bad score when it's this level of game. You've just had that. It used to be way worse, where everything started at 9. But nothing. I've gone through so many big releases. I've gone through Obsidian and I've gone through so many companies, like so many different developers, and their bigger releases almost never get a 5 or below from an actual 10-point scale. So when people say the Xbox tax, it got co-opted by a bunch of idiot grifters and morons and console warriors and stuff. The actual tax, if you want to have a discussion, it's the fact that games like Starfield and Hellblade 2 have numerous 4s and 5s when almost no other big games have that outside of very obvious trolls who no one listens to anyways. But like the Xbox games have as many highs, have as many mids, but they just get more lows than others do. And it happens every time.
They get reviewed. They get reviewed.
They
They're
get
not
actually
ads.
reviewed. But it's
They
also
get
worth
actually-
mentioning that Xbox Era does actually use the full scale.
The full
If
scale.
we say a game
So
is
for us,
a 7, we're like, hey, this is actually pretty good fun. It's got some
Yeah,
flaws.
like my RoboCop review was incredibly positive, but it was like, this is a really fun 7, which is fine. I know it sucks for devs because like OpenCritic and Metacritic, even though they shouldn't be, are incredibly important in the industry. Even though OpenCritic, you don't know what it's only top critics. No idea what makes one a top critic outside of seemingly being a part of a big company. We have no influence on the OpenCritic score. And on Metacritic, it's all heavily weighted. And we are like 1/20th at the most, probably less of IGN, it feels like. So it's like we don't actually balloon scores up no matter what, like Jason Schreier said. Like we don't influence scores. We don't.
I just saw a comment from Anorexic in the chat who must have just jumped in. He said, speaking of visual bar, Hypercharge looks fantastic as well. I love the realistic look and lighting. I mentioned that earlier, Anorexic. I said when I was talking about the fact that I've been playing Hypercharge, I said it's a very pretty game. It's got that PBR-ish look that I like in video games, that physical-based rendering look that some games have. Lighting makes such a difference. Like I'm telling you now, mate, you can have all the polygons and all the textures and all the. If you nail your lighting, that's it, man. The lighting is number one. It is the number one visual element as far as I'm concerned.
It does make a big difference.
Because there's a Discord out there. I don't know if it's public or not, the Discord. But there's a Discord out there that's just a bunch of hobbyists that add ray tracing to like every video game, like with mods on PC. And that, if you see the screenshots that come out of that Discord, they are literal proof of what I'm talking about. That it doesn't matter how many they were adding ray tracing to like PS1 games.
Yeah, full-on path
like,
tracing is incredible. It is extremely performant, but like as we get closer and as everything gets more powerful, yeah, path tracing is crazy.
Oh, that they added it to Tomb Raider, the original Tomb Raider, and I'm like, this looks like a different game now. They didn't touch anything else but the lighting, and it looks stunning. And that's like full PS1 style polygons. Like, mate, lighting can be transformative to a video game's look.
Yeah.
Absolutely transformative.
Do you know what I think Hellblade 2 is in the Xbox Series console gen? What I liken it to?
What?
Rise.
In terms of what?
In terms of reception. I think it will be looked back on more fondly in
I
5
liked Rise
years.
at the time.
I loved
liked
Rise
Rise
at the time. Maybe we're alone,
Rise was
Nick.
great.
We're out on an island on our own.
Rise
I don't
was
know.
great, and visually, somehow 10 years later, that game, or
Still
11
looks
years
great.
now almost, that game still holds up visually somehow. Even though it was
Like
going
Rise Son of Rome, sorry. Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never
Such
played
a
that, but
neat-
it always looked amazing.
Oh, you got to play it. It's so... I loved it. And it was actually the one game where I sort of I wasn't a full-blown cutscene skipper back then, 11 years ago. So I watched some of those movies. Yeah, man, Rise was great. Underrated multiplayer too. Multiplayer was fun.
Yeah.
But, you know, it leads to this Superchat. Assassin Entertainment, exec producer. There is no Xbox tax. It's the PlayStation Pass. That's right. I'm telling you now, if Rise had been a PS4 exclusive, that Metacritic wouldn't be sitting in the 60s, mate. I'll tell you that right now. Because that was literally the first Sony game to come out that generation. Third person, over the shoulder, slow walk and talk, cutscene heavy, beautiful graphics, shallowish gameplay. It was the first one to come out this gen, man. But it got caught up in all the DRM shit that the Xbox One had and got picked apart. That game was cool, man.
I'd love a
Rise was
sequel.
cool.
I'd love a sequel, but what do
I don't know what happened to the alleged sequel that's out there.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Maybe
I don't know if
there'll be a surprise. Who knows? Who knows?
I don't know, man. But
Joe, I just want to check in because you're in the same country as me, which means it's
Yes.
coming up to 12:30.
Yep.
Are you happy to stick around? I don't
I'm
want you
alright. Yep.
to be like,
Yeah, I'm all right. I'll let you know when.
no worries.
cheers,
All right,
guys.
well, while we're still on what we've been playing, because that was one hell of a Senua Saga Hellblade 2 tangent-a-thon. I should briefly mention, before I pass over to Jesse to briefly talk about System Shock, I guess, I have also dipped my toes into 33 Immortals.
Yeah.
But not enough toe dipping as of yet to fully give you my thoughts. My initial thoughts were, especially coming out of playing Hades 2, which I've also played a bit of. Hades 2 feels very responsive and quick. 33 Immortals initially, I was like, oh, this is slower. This is a little bit more deliberate. I've gone through the initial area and then I've seen all the other players milling about. Initially I kind of was like, I'm not sure about this art style. I was then, as it kind of zoomed out and did more with it, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. Seeing all the other immortal souls walking around with their names and their capes, picking up different weapons. I just need to spend some more time with it before I kind of be like, hey, here's what I genuinely think. But I think the developers are being like, it's in beta at the moment, and they're being quite like, be honest. So I will be. I just want to get a bit more playtime before I say something that I will later then have to walk back. But initial thoughts were a little bit slower, a little bit more deliberate than something like Hades 2, if anyone's been playing that recently. But I know that there are a few people in the wonderful and brilliant XboxEra community Discord that have also been playing, and I'd like to try and schedule some sessions where I can team up with a group of people I know and play.
Can you group with 32 people and play?
That's what I don't know the answer to that.
Because that would be great for a
I don't
community
know the
night.
answer to that.
But
yes, it would
there's
be one
that
hell of a
many
community
in
night.
each thing, but just can you make it all you and your group? Is what we don't know yet.
I don't know yet. I'd like to find out. But more to come on that. Jesse, Voice of God, you've been playing and have released the review of the console Xbox version for the System Shock remake. How has that been?
Surprisingly good. I've been doing a fair number of these like remakes and remasters because most old games don't actually hold up that well. Most of them are kind of... So System Shock is a precursor to BioShock and all those. It's in Deus Ex especially, like it's way more obfuscated on everything, but it's got special Nick mode. It's got easy. I think most new players should probably put it on easy. It doesn't make the game easy, but it makes the game less obfuscated. So I guess in general it makes it easier, because System Shock was the type of fuck you game. You drop that key, you need that key. You need to go find exactly where that little tiny pixelated key is in this giant map. And we're not going to tell you. You just have to now go look for it. Easy mode doesn't let you drop important items anymore. It gives you an idea of exactly where to go without truly leading you there. Like it'll just show little places
Sounds like
on
an
the
immersive sim.
It is very much an immersive sim. Yeah, I mean, it's a shock game. It was going for that. There's multiple ways to go about things. If you're on easy mode and you kind of know what you're doing, you can beat it in about 5 hours. Otherwise, I say most people, it's probably going to be 20 to 30 because it's just big. But if you use a guide, it's like 5 hours. If I'm stuck, I'm going to use a guide, 5-6 hours probably. Because if you know exactly what to do, it's not big. But it's an older game. Those obviously used to have to really make things tough to figure out to make them not feel super short. But it's still it controls decently well. Not perfect, I would say. If you're okay with mouse and keyboard, it's going to feel better on mouse and keyboard on a PC. But the console version's fine. It'll get you through with the controls. It looks really good. It's completely rebuilt in Unreal Engine 4. They redid the whole UI. Very, very solid remake of a true classic. Highly recommend.
Okay. Cool.
Boom. There you go. I think that's about it for what we've been playing.
Unless Joe's been playing anything.
Yeah, Joe, you've been playing anything apart from Hypercharge?
Not really. I play a bit of Dota 2, which is not really a pleasant experience most of the time.
That is a man admitting, I just have a problem at this point and I can't make it stop.
I've not really been
busy,
playing that much, to be honest. No,
I find this a lot with game developers, is they're too fucking busy to be playing games all the bloody time.
Yeah, one thing definitely like being like, especially because I'm around people who know so much about like the technical side of games and stuff, and all the stuff I've learned is, especially when I play any games, indie games, AAAs, whatever, it is more difficult to play because you have this like innate sort of sense of this why are they doing the movement like this for this type of game, or the sound design is a bit like, or it's like, oh, this isn't optimized, why is the UI like this, you see it more. I get a bit more picky, but there's one game I need to get back into, which is I only started playing it, I think it was last year, it was Red Dead Redemption 2, and that I love that game.
I know a lot of
I need to
people
get
that
back into it.
don't normally play games that absolutely wax lyrical about how much they love that.
If they ever give that game a new generation patch, I'm going to review it and give it a 10. Because it's one of the best games ever made. Now, it plays way better on PC. Like, it has a lot of input lag on console, which does not help it, and it has to rely more on magnetism on the aiming. But on PC, it is flawless. It is one of the best controlling things. And I know Nick hates the animations and all that. If you play Red Dead Online, they get rid of a lot of those animations, but what can I say?
Yeah, I don't know. You know what you need to do, Joe, if you get a chance. Play Super Mario Odyssey. Mate, it is
shit.
It is literally a perfect video game.
No.
Mario game Odyssey.
Unbelievable Super Mario Odyssey. It is
so boring. New
I'd
Donk
like
City
to
is so
remind
dumb.
Nick that he co-hosts an Xbox-focused podcast. I'd just like to remind you of that. Like, that's where you're at. You're
So
on the
good.
XboxEra Podcast, not the Nintendo Era Podcast.
So good.
Honest to God.
Amazing.
This is probably a good point to do a little bit of housekeeping and just, kindly ask everybody watching right now, if you haven't hit that like button, please do so, because the algorithm kind of demands it of us, and, it helps us out, and we love being helped. If you really love what we do, hit subscribe or become a YouTube member, or even better, if you want to be a cool kid, head to patreon.com/XboxEra and pledge your support there, because, the only reason we get to do all the kind of cool reviews in these shows is because of the patrons and the YouTube members.
If we could convert 10% of our YouTube audience to Patreon for even $3 a month, we'd be able to focus so much more on reviews and live streams and shit. We can't because they don't make any money unless very kind people pay us for them. Because otherwise, Google SEO rules the world.
Yeah, damn you, Google. I'm going to go put some glue in my cheese pizza. In other news, and this is, I guess, I'm just looking at some of the big stuff. Doom has been bubbling away in the background, like we've all heard little bits and pieces, right? Various people of something medieval, but Tom Henderson, Insider Gaming, they came with it yesterday. Doom, The Dark Ages. And so new Doom game coming in the June showcase. That's what we're hearing. That's what Tom Henderson has reported. Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, but Microsoft and Bethesda are, because it has always been a multi-platform game, they're keeping it that way, and it is coming to both Xbox and PlayStation at launch. Apparently, reportedly, supposedly, allegedly. That's
such a mistake.
I'm not surprised. Are you surprised that they're going to keep it multi-platform? Like, I know you think it's a mistake, but are you surprised?
Not in the current climate, no. Not in the current climate where basically everything is going to be multiplat, no. It still disappoints me endlessly.
Yeah.
But
it's... They're not taking... I'm not going to get you set off on another rant, Nick. Deep breath. Deep breath, my friend.
They just finally get to this point. They finally get to this point where they have these games, these genuine heavy hitters that are like, hey, come and look at what's on our platform now. Yeah, we cheated a little bit to get it, but still, we've got it. And they're like, nah, fuck it. Don't worry about it.
Do you know what, though? This is a hot take. I'm going to spit out a hot take. This is a rare one for me. I don't normally do hot takes. I am so not surprised at this point that Microsoft is just like, you know what, fuck it. do you know what? Fuck it. I'm fed up with getting 4s for an artsy pants game that most reviewers gushed over. I'm fed up with it. They're never going to give us a fair shake. Fuck it. Release it on everything. Let's just make our money. I don't blame them. Like, I would be, if I were Microsoft, I'd be like, do you know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. You know, like how you've always said be dicks?
I'd be the opposite.
You've always said Microsoft should be dicks, right?
They
and
should.
keep
They
games
should,
for
just
themselves.
Just like you, they should say fuck it, but in the opposite direction.
But in the opposite direction,
buy everything and own it all, and be like, now give us bad reviews. We don't care. We own everything.
Yeah, that's the opposite version of be dicks that you want.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know. But then at the same time, they'll close a studio like Tango, so maybe it's better that they don't.
Yeah, it's I know we weren't here to discuss this together, and I'm grateful for that. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks seeing studios closed. I'm heading out to LA in 2 weeks, so we do the show next Saturday, and then following week I'm like that Wednesday I'm off to go and see what's going on. I'm very, very curious of how much they're going to come out and say, how upfront they're going to be at this point, because for as much as people like to say it was all my specific fault for my reporting back in February regarding Starfield, and then they blame Tom Warren for his reporting regarding Indiana Jones. Mm-hmm. I'm still of the opinion, and if Microsoft, if you're watching, this is just my opinion. That's not my fault. Stuff was bubbling from December, and you knew it was bubbling, and you just let it bubble, right? And people start digging when stuff's bubbling, and then you'll get reporting. If they keep doing that and they just let the sentiment bubble and bubble and bubble, it's gonna lead to a point of people are just gonna snap, and you're gonna see the silly, over the top vitriol. And I understand it. I don't want to disparage anyone that feels very emotionally about their library and the amount of money they've invested and their relationship with the product. It's all personal stuff, and it's not my place to tell you you're wrong to feel that way. But Microsoft, I feel, owe an answer. They owe clarity to the consumer base that they have. And I feel that they need
Jesse,
to give
is that Doom Eternal?
That is Doom Eternal, The Ancient Gods Part 2 DLC. One of the best DLCs ever made.
Because I'm watching it and I'm like, why don't I remember any of this?
Yeah, Ancient Gods Part 1 is awesome, but was the hardest thing I've ever beaten. They made it a lot easier. They balanced it again. But yeah, Ancient Gods Part 1 and 2 are incredible. They are awesome.
I haven't played them.
Yeah.
That's why I'm watching this and I'm seeing a dragon fly around and I'm like, why don't I remember any of this from Doom Eternal? But I haven't played the DLC.
On the Doom front, following Tom Henderson's article, I think Jez Corden went to Central, verified and corroborated the information that they'd received. Jez was up front. He said he didn't have the name of the Dark Ages, but makes sense. But there was some discussion and theorizing in there, Doom and Doom Eternal, the reboot, obviously, of Doom, not the original Doom, were very quick, very fast-paced, very, twitchy. And there was some theorizing that this Doom, the Dark Ages, might slow things down a tad because, obviously, you haven't got the cool, powered armor and
well, it's funny that it's medieval because there's a super chat from Cody Bishop saying was expecting and hoping for a Quake reboot. And I think to myself, medieval Doom. I'm like, I wonder, did the Quake reboot become medieval Doom?
Well, I also surmised when I heard this, because obviously you'd heard,
I'd heard about a Quake reboot, yeah.
That a Quake reboot was coming. But I would argue that from a first-person shooter perspective, if you were to look at a medieval-esque Doom, you might go, well, that's Quake, because Quake had that kind of very medieval vibe. I don't know, but maybe that's where that got
I might have to ask
conflated.
around.
Yeah.
No, maybe not conflated. Maybe it started as a Quake reboot and became Doom. They thought, Quake's name's not strong enough. Let's just call it Doom.
Well, there was the Doom Year Zero, which appears to be some sort of working project or code name, and Year Zero, olden days. Okay, this kind of aligns, but it would be interesting to see if that all comes to pass in June. It certainly sounds like it's going to be one banger of a showcase. If everything that they have to show comes to pass.
The full story of Doom Eternal in both expansions, there's a lot of very medieval looking scenery because of his history with the whole big knight organization. So it could also potentially be a prequel of sorts where it's his time while he was fighting for them.
Maybe.
Intriguing. We missed a super chat from the lovely Reese.
We did. Joe, I live in Harrogate. You hiring?
He lives really name. I worked at Harrogate a lot when I was a decorator. That's awesome.
Really?
Yeah. It's not like
he's fishing for a job, Joe.
Yeah. You can start you off as maybe the tea maker.
T-boy. Incoming.
So
here's a question.
Get the coffees.
Here's a question. Is there, and this might not be one you can answer, so feel free to say, can't really comment on that, John, have no idea. You've got the release of Hypercharge coming out in 6 days. You presumably would, if time and money allow, look to port to PlayStation. Why not? What's next for these wayward boys that are making their way, boys and girls making their way through the wonderful world of video game development? You've made a cool toy-based first-person shooter. What would be next? Is there something? Is there a grand plan? Is there a grand idea that someone's had? You don't have to tell us it, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, so we will definitely want to revisit the action figure sort of premise, and that will either be a prequel or a sequel to Hypercharge. So it might not be called Hypercharge 2. It probably won't be. It'll be called something else, but it will be based on a lot of the characters and the story that we've sort of established in Hypercharge. So we definitely will at some point go back, because we've built such a nice hardcore fan base with Hypercharge, and with the story campaign, it's basic, but it's really, we've got this classic good versus evil character type narrative, and we can really.
But would you shift genres though?
Probably yes,
and stay within the because as soon as you started talking, I thought, I just think about how Hypercharge looks and the way it's rendered, and I think, man, that would make a really nice looking 2.5D little action platform shooter thing where the toys are just running along and the like very, very old school. What's that game by Apogee? Oh my god.
You're not talking about Metal Slug, are you?
No. Before Metal Slug. Before Jazz Jackrabbit. Oh my god, I can't remember now. My mind's gone blank and I'm too old and I've got dementia.
Describe this again.
It's just like, it's a very, very old school Commander King. Commander King? Am I thinking Commander King?
Yeah. Okay, Doom. Id Software's Commander Keen. I think you're
Commander
right.
Keen I'm thinking of? It might be Commander Keen, yeah. Like just that style, but obviously modernized and 2.5D to look like the Hypercharge, and just something like that, I feel would be fun in the Hypercharge universe. I think something like that could be fun.
Yeah. No, I think that was a good idea.
That's just my suggestion.
No, we won't be doing the same genre. I can say that it won't be the same genre specifically as Hypercharge, but we're gonna expand upon what we've already established, like the world of Hypercharge, into something cool. There is in one of the levels in Hypercharge, we have an arcade machine. It's fully playable, and we have an actual Hypercharge 2D platforming game. And you see the action figure; it moves the joystick when you turn with the character. It's pretty cool.
Brilliant. That's so cool. That's a proper nerdy hilariousness. I love it.
That reminds me of another indie game that's coming out, where the game
one where
is
you're
played
playing on the 3D Game Boy.
How cool is that? Where you've got your Game Boy in front of you and you're playing the game in 2D, but it's controlling what you're doing in 3D. I'm like,
so weird. Oh, good.
Holy shit, that is brain breaking. Like that would just snap my brain in two. Like I'd
happily give that a go. That looks fun. It looks fun.
It's full on. I'm just like, Yeah, like even the concept of it. It's but when you said that, it just reminded me of that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What else have we got?
Ooh, RTS. Reese just suggested an RTS with hypercharge, like with small soldiers.
That'd be cool. I'd love to.
I don't mind that.
For the team before, because I love the
don't
old
mind that
Armin and
suggestion.
RTS game. That was brilliant.
Yeah, I don't mind that suggestion. Waves of toys and all the different. Oh yeah, that's an interesting one.
Or Hypercharge in VR. That'd be a cool thing. Small action figures.
Especially with the depth of field and being that small.
Yeah.
That would work quite well.
People have modded it for VR, to be fair.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Genius people.
I don't mind that. I don't mind the
cool
RTS
stuff.
suggestion. That's a good one.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it. In other news, obviously, when Microsoft announced their showcase, they had a big whole redacted thing, and then over the course of this week,
Call of Duty.
Everyone knew it was Call of Duty, but then we had the viral website, thetruthlies.com, go up with some footage of people blindfolding the
Mount Rushmore
monument and graffitiing on the president's faces and stuff like that. And then it's just come out. It's Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Black Ops 6 is what it is. Now, the rumor is it's still set in or around the Gulf War, but it's going to get this deep dive direct, straight after the June showcase. And, yep, guess what? It's still a cross-generational game. So it's coming out. And the reason why it's a cross-generational game, because 48% of COD players on PlayStation are still playing on a PS4.
I know.
That's why.
I know.
Weirdest gen ever.
So you're telling me all those big exclusives aren't enough to get people over?
That's correct, Nick. I am telling you that.
Don't they want to play those bangers in 4K?
No,
Oddly enough,
they don't give a
the
shit.
top 10 games on most played work just fine on a PS4 for the most part, and that's all that matters. Same for Xbox One.
Yep.
Like Fortnite.
Mhm.
Fortnite,
Yeah.
Rocket League.
Fortnite, Rocket League, Call of Duty. That's it. And Apex Legends, they all work, so they're all being played still.
To live in a world where Epic managed to get Fortnite working on 360 and PlayStation 3. Could you imagine?
Yes.
That'd be funny.
It would be hilarious.
360 played very nice with Unreal Engine 3.
They could get it working if they wanted to on a 360.
Oh, yeah. I'd love to
Easily.
see a version of Fortnite running on the 360.
I do see people saying, like, I feel like an idiot for buying a Series X. It's like, if you actually go back and try to play games on those, you are now used to unbelievably fast loading and mostly
right,
60. Yeah. Like, no, you don't want to go back. It's a very, it is a subtle feeling upgrade, but if you try and go back and you're waiting 3 minutes to load into a level in Destiny, you feel it.
I couldn't go
you
back.
can't do it. Trust me.
Rough. It is rough.
Yeah, no thanks. I remember, like, before I got my little boy a Series S, I was like, I used to, if he had a problem, I'd have to go up and interact with the Xbox One X, because that's what he got in after I got my next gen. And I was just like, fuck, man, everything takes forever. This is horrible. I'm not going back to this.
We complain about and we've gotten so used to it that we complain about loading times now sometimes.
Yeah, I know. Oh, not another loading screen in Starfield.
I've got to wait 10 seconds to get into this game.
This is unacceptable.
This is shit.
Oh, man. It's so true. It's so absolutely true.
God, we're so spoiled.
We are spoiled little children. And Assassin Entertainment in with the super chat. Don't worry, GTA 6 will force people to upgrade. And I think the whole industry is waiting for that, because that's only coming out on those two consoles, and it will shift units, because that's let's see who gets the marketing, but yeah, it will probably publish more units for PlayStation. If I were Microsoft, I would be throwing money at Rockstar and Take-Two for marketing rights.
For GTA 6, yeah.
Absolutely. You want to have your Xbox name on the end of that. Yeah. That is one to get. How much do you want? Silly money. Yep. Just pay it.
The big question is,
$1 billion?
Is it new customers, or is it just your same ones upgrading? Because same ones upgrading is good. I'm just really curious if it will be new.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you'd want to hope you'd convert some, PlayStation players to to some modern Xbox, but the likelihood is now, and Phil said it, Xbox One generation was the worst one to lose because that was the point. That was the moment people started building a genuine digital library that was theirs and that went with them from console to console. Whoops. Anyway. But yeah, there you go. That's a lot of the big game news. Industry news.
No, there's one more game news, and we didn't discuss it last week.
I can see it.
Even though it was in the thumbnail.
Shocking.
We completely forgot. We completely forgot to talk about AC Shadows last week, even though it was in the thumbnail. So Ubisoft finally revealed one of the worst kept secrets in gaming, which was Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is the long-rumored, somewhat confirmed with Red under the codename Red.
Yep.
Assassin's Creed set in Japan that people have been yearning for since 2009. Where you get to play as a choice of either a ninja or a samurai. Yes, this is what I've wanted since I played Assassin's Creed 2. I've wanted an Assassin's Creed set in Japan where I can be a ninja and just stealthily take everyone out. Unfortunately for this video game, most of the discussion has not been around the game itself, and it has been around one of the lead protagonists and whether, in fact, it's historically accurate and blah, 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 blah. Who gives a shit? Like, seriously, it's a video game. Who gives a shit? Like, Assassin's Creed has never been
You
historically
fist fight
accurate.
a mind-controlled pope in Assassin's Creed 2.
Sounds accurate.
In the Vatican.
I don't know. I don't read. I don't know enough about history to know if Yasuke was actually a official samurai.
He's a retainer, which, yes, people who were there, people who are Japanese are laughing at all the, Western chuds who are trying to co-opt their anger. And it's like, there can be a real talk about how there haven't been enough Japanese males in stories set in Japan for stuff like this, and that's perfectly valid. But going after Yasuke and trying to pretend that history isn't what it is the stupid thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know my Japanese history to know or care about any of this stuff. Whether he was officially a samurai or whether he was a sword handler that I saw some people saying, or whether I don't know why it actually matters that much. Assassin's Creed's not a documentary; it's a video game, a fictional video game loosely based on historical.
In Valhalla,
events.
you were literally playing as representations of Norse gods. Like, all the main characters were literally like their Isu ancestors were Loki and Balder and other things. Like, it's not going for actual history. It is incredibly supernaturally stylized. Yeah, it's always been that.
It never has. Like, I don't know. The game looks cool.
It does look cool. It actually has me. I played a lot of Valhalla, and then I was 60 hours in, and I was like, I can't.
Valhalla was the exception.
I bounced.
This sounds more like Origins in length and scope, which I think is right up your guys' alley. If you mainline it, it's like 20 hours at the most. Like, probably even shorter if you're really good. So probably like 40 hours for you two, but still.
Yep.
I just saw a comment, and Yasuke is also the first ever real person who's a pro tag in the AC games. Yes, the first who's a pro tag. I was about to say, because Da Vinci was in the older Assassin's
And he
Creed
actually
games, but he's
did
not.
make a bunch of crazy inventions for an assassination cult. I don't know if people know that. Definitely historically accurate.
No, I don't know my history. So I don't know that sort of stuff. That's my whole point.
I'm just saying the game's never been historically accurate. Like,
I didn't think it was either. I always thought AC was loosely based on historical events and characters.
They use
That's the
historical
impression I
people
was under.
to tell their own stories. It's not meant to be real.
Yeah, that's right. So I don't understand, like, the fuss over this. Like, I don't want to immediately just brand everyone racist because I don't like doing that sort of stuff. But
Yep, fair.
I don't understand why this in particular has gotten people so riled up.
It's very
like
weird.
I saw some people that are like, "Oh, you'd never put a Japanese person in this game." It's like, isn't that what the girl is? Isn't she Japanese? Like there's 2 pro tags, man. It's not just the one pro tag. There's 2, and one is Japanese. Like I don't understand. Like you're ignoring the second pro tag, which leads to another discussion.
Girls don't count. That's sarcasm, just in case YouTube wants to roll with that.
Wasn't there a similar thing to this with one of the battlefields when it had the woman with the claw and everyone started flipping out that women were
yes,
in this particular
right,
thing of and I remember saying I was like, but
Yes,
it
they
looks
were.
really cool.
But they were in. Yeah,
Yeah, it was true. It was like
it was-
resistance groups, wasn't they? But it was just
Yeah.
more people flipping out, weren't they? And I was like,
It's this
Yeah, I
whole
just-
culture of this
I'll be playing
weird.
as her.
It's
I
engagement
wanted
rage
to be
bait.
a ninja.
Yeah,
I've
it's
been
so
wanting
sad.
to be a ninja in AC forever. Like I'll be playing as her through the whole game. Like
I wish Cassandra
Yeah,
was
I
in
only
it.
heard about it. I only heard about the new AC game through the controversy. That's when I saw it.
Streisand effect.
The controversy. Yeah.
So
yeah,
silly.
I am somewhat disappointed that it's not going to be shorter. It's going to still be the full-on open world.
They've
like-
never been that short.
Yeah, mate, people play them to death. Like they're super.
Uh,
they are
Gyozo
what they
has like
are.
300 or 400 hours in Valhalla. He loves it. So does Elinari, our friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I imagine
Assassin's
we'll
Creed-
get
the
gameplay at
controversy.
Ubisoft Forward as well.
Yes.
like
I'm-
people that are
Ubisoft Forward
concerned.
should be good. Ubisoft Forward should be good. Like we'll be getting. Oh wait, I don't think I've said that publicly. No, I'm not going to say that. Ubisoft Forward should be good. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think I've spoken anymore on what else will be Ubisoft Forward, but it should be real good. But yes, I am looking forward to being a ninja in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a massive game this holiday. Like the more I look at the way this year is stacked, like there is
Ubisoft
too
has stacked
much.
it. Ubisoft themselves.
Ubisoft,
Yeah, the Prince of Persia, The Lost
Outlaws.
Crown, the Rogue Prince of Persia hits early access on Monday, and I really enjoyed that
you're
in a
right.
preview. Then Outlaws in August, which looks great, and friggin' Ubisoft massive, don't miss. And then Assassin's Creed Shadow in, was it November or October? Like, just looks
Yeah.
incredible. It's a good,
there's
great
gonna be
year
a
for
lot
them.
of games to play.
Have you played Prince of Persia, Joe?
I've never played
The Lost
it, no.
Crown?
I've never played that.
God,
it's
it's
It's a good game.
Oh, like, man, if any game was gonna like tip me towards that 10 point, I was like, oh boy, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. As of right now, it's my game of the year for 2024.
Oh wow.
It is incredible, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. It is so amazing.
It comes out November
just a great
15th.
But I love
Jones.
Metroidvanias though. Like,
Yeah,
to be upfront, I love my Metroidvanias.
Yeah. You ran around in Metroid Dread shooting walls for hours. You liked that game so much.
Oh, I put over 30 hours into Lost Crown. It is not that long of a game.
No, I beat
played
it in
for
12.
30 hours. It's not that long of a game. I think my save file says 30 hours or 31 hours.
madness.
I love Lost Crown so much. It's so good.
Also,
Yeah,
Assassin's
absolutely
Creed
great.
Nexus, the MetaQuest 2 and 3 VR game, rules. It is fantastic. It's also very short compared to the
really?
the main thing. So, yeah, very good game. And you get to play as Cassandra again, everyone's favorite.
Lost Crown is amazing.
Good game. What else? IGN own all of video game journalism now.
Oh, God. That's just...
In case you missed it, IGN Entertainment have acquired Eurogamer, GamesIndustry.biz, VG247, Rock, Paper Shotgun, and more.
Is it pure Xbox?
Can the FTC get involved in that?
No, they don't give a shit about Sony
It's an
buying up
interesting
all
one.
of anime streaming.
It's an interesting one. It's interesting to me for several reasons. One, I feel like as an independent publication, which is what we are, funded by you, the person watching right now, there needs to be more voices that are completely independent, because it worries me greatly that, and there are some incredible voices across that bevy of European and UK based sites that are going to be extinguished over time, quietened down,
or
deprecated.
What also hits me is, IGN owns Humble Games, the publisher.
Yeah.
And they review their games, and I find that very weird. Because I was talking with people like, oh, they don't review those games. I was like, yes, they absolutely do. They put a little disclaimer saying we own them, but then they just review them like normal. I'm like, it's really weird. I know I trust the editors and stuff there, but it's just a really weird look when you are reviewing games that you published as an overall company.
Yeah, it's odd. It is an odd one.
And I mean, does Team Xbox still exist?
No.
Didn't IGN buy that a while back?
Yes, IGN did buy Team Xbox. Yes, you're quite right. They're
Sure
gone
did.
now. But yeah, that's a lot of stuff that's just now going to be owned by. And it's really strange to me how little conversation there has been online about it.
Because most people are owned by them that would talk.
Yeah. I just find that hilarious. Like, because there was lots of conversation about consolidation when it came to Microsoft and Activision and Microsoft and Bethesda, but strangely, not much conversation about this one.
There was complaints on social media, but obviously, like, you have professional relationships and you've got friends and all that stuff happens, and it just ends up leading to silence.
Yes, yeah. But we did see some redundancies. Brendan Sinclair, which was, I think, the managing editor or the editor-in-chief of GamesIndustry.biz, got the boot. And there's been a couple of others. I'm sure there'll be more. But it depresses the hell out of me that now all of us little independent outlets are competing just with one massive organisation that owns the SEO on this stuff. It's so demoralising.
Do you not think that
really
might
is.
make some people, though, want to go to smaller ones? Because all these other ones where they had, maybe their own, like Eurogamer and whatnot, they had their own sort of identity. Maybe, I know I'm going to feel more like, you know what, I want to go to some different places more, Maybe,
Yeah,
Well, I mean, a lot of them started up that way, like Kind of Funny, and like
I wouldn't describe Kind of Funny as a publication. They don't review games. They don't have
Don't they?
They do, but they're more of an entertainment YouTube creation kind of podcasty kind of company.
Until they want to ask really weird
dip
questions.
our toes in both worlds. Yeah, we dip our toes in both worlds. But you're right, Joe. It could lead to a resurgence of independent outlets. And yes, best will in the world. I hope it does. But I also predict that you're going to see a lot of well-known journalists say, I'm going to go out on my own. I think we've already seen that a lot. Stephen Tortillo does Gamer File. He went out and did his own thing.
Second Wind as well?
Yeah, Second Wind. They all got fired from The Escapist, and they all went and done their
They're
own thing.
huge.
And they're massive.
Yeah, it's like almost 500,000 subs, I
Patreon
think.
is something that we're enormously jealous, right? Like, you bear in mind, like, and again, I'm not tooting our own horn, except I am. Go look at the amount of content we pump out on a website and on a video basis, the amount of reviews this team does. We are tiny, and yet we compete. And I think that speaks a lot for pure balls to the wall talent on this team.
Thank you for doing all that hard work, Nick.
Yeah, Nick, you are the backbone of this organization. But honestly, I think it counts for a lot. I think passion counts for a lot, and being a unique and different voice in this industry counts for a lot. And I hope no one loses their jobs, and I hope we don't see big institutions like Eurogamer. I grew up reading Eurogamer. I value a lot of what they brought to the industry. Like, I don't agree with every take they have, but they were one of my go-to.
Did you read their
websites.
Hellblade review? It was by Johnny Chiodini. It was excellent.
Johnny's review was great.
Yeah.
And he understood the assignment. What is this? This is a fucking experience, bro. And he played the shit out of it, and it was great. Yeah, it's a bummer to see
bit
this
worrisome.
kind of happen.
It's a bit worrisome.
I'd be very
Say
worried
the
if I was
least.
Microsoft. I'd be like, oh, fuck. Fuck. I mean, and that's the other depressing thing is like we're so small that we barely get the invites that all of these big places get. Like we're so rare, and when we get an opportunity, we really go for it. And I have to give a shout out. I think Jesse did the last time we did headlines on Thursday. Got to give a massive shout out to Ubisoft PR. Like, say what you want about Ubisoft games, you like them or love them or hate them, but their PR guys are so nice to work with. They are so good to work with, and that relationship building makes a difference. God love them. But there you go. That is the big industry hoo-ha of the week. There are some other bits and pieces that we could get into. I'm very conscious that it's 1 a.m. and I do know there are some community questions that were specifically targeting Dear Joe here. Did we want to try and, before he crashes in front of our very eyes through sleep deprivation, do we want to try and get some of those specific ones closed out so that we can let this poor man go to bed?
It's up to Joe.
It's up
Did
to
you
Joe.
want to do
Yeah,
that?
feel free. Yeah, we can go through
Yeah.
them.
I don't think there's too many, but there are a few that are specifically
Okay.
asking Joe a question.
So we'll do a slight diversion to some of the community questions that are more aimed at Joe.
Yeah.
If Jesse's ready. Jesse, are you ready?
He's cursing my name right now. Fuck, I'm going to take one of these
I know.
screenshots.
I'm giving him a chance to be ready.
I
think
opened
he's
up.
ready.
Oh, I muted myself.
Totally
I meant to unmute myself. Yes, the community questions have been open for 4 hours. I'm ready.
Oh, okay. Because it makes it easier for me in timestamps later too.
Jolly good.
What's the first one I'm gonna go to?
Skedaddle,
Okay,
maybe?
I'll go to Skedaddle.
Yeah.
I'll go to Skedaddle. Welcome back, John and Joe. I was checking out the Steam achievements for Hypercharge, and there is one for completing all levels on Nightmare difficulty. And he's got the emoji for being scared. My question is, Joe, do you really hate us that much and want to see us suffer? Just how difficult is this achievement? And is it even a challenge for yourself?
Well, I've actually never completed Nightmare difficulty.
Poor form.
And it's yeah, it's pretty difficult. I know that. We added it as a bit of a fun. You can do it. It's just very difficult. Very, very difficult.
Hence the name.
Yeah.
So there you go, Skedaddle. He hasn't even done it himself. So I don't know how you're going to
Wow.
Good old Collingwood. Happy Towel Day, John. What the hell is Happy Towel Day? Happy Memorial Day barbecue weekend, Jesse. Happy Orthodox Star Wars Day, Nick. And welcome back, Joe. What toy line deserves a video game adaptation? And what kind of game would it be? Whoa.
Ooh.
Voltron.
Oh.
Voltron.
Has it
Can you
not had a
imagine?
game?
It has, isn't it?
Has
I'm
it?
sure Voltron's had a game.
Oh.
Is it? A modern one? I'm Googling as we speak. Oh, yeah, it did. On PlayStation
okay.
3, no less.
It's pretty modern. It's pretty modern.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
Oh, man. That's disappointing. Oh, it's like an isometric thing.
there you go. Well, any thoughts, Joe, of a toy line that you'd love to see come to life in a game?
Oh, so many of them have. There was that. What was that 90s one? It was. Oh, I always forget it. It had like. Was that a game? Oh, what's it called? It had a shark character. They're on motorbikes. And
Oh.
It was,
I know the one you're talking about, but the name escapes me too.
you know which one, don't you? Really cool
Yep.
characters, and I
Yep,
had the
I
shark
do.
action figure. Oh, and it
Yes.
had this. I can just see him on the motorbike. We played with them.
It wasn't Biker Mice from Mars that had a
Wait.
shark. It was something else. What was it?
It wasn't.
Someone in the
bike
chat will know. I can't remember this.
Biker Mice from Mars. It wasn't that. Was
Street Sharks?
It might have been Street Sharks. Let's
Sounds
see.
like a-
Yeah,
sounds
that was
like a
it.
Street
Street
Sharks.
Sharks. Did that ever become a game?
Don't think so.
Yeah. Atreyu in the chat was like Street Sharks.
That's what it was.
Okay, some great shout outs in the chat. I've got to give this one. Thundercats from South Mole. Absolutely great shout.
Thundercats.
But this one,
Thundercats weren't a toy line. They were a cartoon first.
This one, Mask, again, is a cartoon first. But it did get toys. Dun, 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 Mask. And they had the cars. And they put the masks on. Oh, so good. The flying red car, man. I had that.
Yeah. But was
So
that a
good.
toy line first?
Was it? I don't know. It had a toy line, so I'm going to take it as it's allowed a game.
To be honest.
It's about the toys. So He-Man should obviously get a game. Or did He-Man already get a game?
It's got to have had a game. Are we going to spend the next 3 hours Googling toy games that have
we
existed?
are. Small Soldiers obviously got one. I mean, it needs a reboot, Small Soldiers, though.
It does need a reboot. It's getting one. Kind
It
of a
should
homage.
just be Street Sharks because it's the only game that was presented at a toy fair by Vin Diesel at his hottest.
Wait,
There was
Oh,
a
yeah, I'm playing the
terrible
video.
He-Man game on PlayStation 2. But I think a modern day character action hack and slash He-Man game would be amazing in the vein of the OG God of Wars. Oh, that would be
LOL
good with
dolls.
He-Man.
Jenny, you remember we had it in the UK? I think it was only in the UK. We had like the action figure brand called Action Man. That was pretty big in the UK.
Action Man, the greatest hero of them all.
That there was a PS1 video game. I always thought that was so underrated. That was really good.
Wow, Masters of... There's actually been a lot of He-Man games over the years, but they're like ridiculously old. They're like crazy old games.
We're old.
Yeah,
We're old.
we are. A modern day He-Man is what I'd like.
That would be
A hack and
cool. Hack and slash. That's a really good idea.
That'd be a
Good
great
answers.
one.
What else have we got?
I'm
Thank
just
you,
trying to
Skedaddle.
see. Okay, 9. Hold on. All right, so this is sort of two parts, and the first part is for Joe. 99 Rukin. Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. Bought Hypercharge on Steam to play on my Steam Deck, and I love it. This isn't my question for today, because he has two parts. Just wondering, will there be more DLC story-wise?
Probably. It depends how much of the community would want it. Potentially, we could do something as DLC story-wise, like if it was another big level, and there was some cool add-on to it, potentially. But it just depends on how much the community wants it. The reaction onto the Xbox version. So I won't say yes, and I won't say no.
Okay. His other part was... I'm just going to ask it because the answer is really straightforward, because I don't think 99 Rukin realizes this already exists. Now for my question, after watching the Hellboy movie and watching some Spider-Man 2 gameplay, had me thinking, should Microsoft partner up with Embracer or the new name Middle-earth and Friends, who owns Dark Horse, to make a Hellboy game for Xbox? Hopefully maybe even a Spawn game with who owns those rights. There is a Hellboy game. It came out like last year.
Yeah. And it was
Yeah,
It was supposedly not.
It was
great.
very bad. No, I gave it a 5. It was terrible. Web of weird.
5 is average.
Yeah,
Isn't
I
a
remember
5
seeing it.
average?
I was generous.
You just said it's. You just said it's terrible. So...
But I mean, it was. I think its open critic is in the 50s. Like it's not very good. It looked really cool at first, but like the actual gameplay was, what if you made way worse Hellblade combat, where everything's pretty much one-on-one, but is insanely simple. It tried to mimic the look of the original comics, which is very cool, but very basic. But even there, it's like in person, when you see it, it just feels off in some way. I don't know. It's like a roguelike trying to be good, but it doesn't have any of the good carrot on a stick that a roguelike run-based thing needs. It's also way too easy.
You know what's sad about that, though? That studio made West of Dead, which I loved. I loved West of Dead. That's a really good roguelike game. Really enjoy West of Dead. Like, I think, did I review West of Dead?
You might have. The
God, I can't.
Open Critic for Web of Weird is 56, and the critics recommend is 25% on Open Critic. So it was about as low as it gets, unfortunately.
Well, there is. So, yeah, there is already a Hellboy video game. So, yeah, that's the questions for Joe.
Awesome.
Cool. So, if it's getting very late for you, because this podcast probably won't be ending anytime soon. So, if it's getting very late for you, man, like...
Yeah, I'll probably call it here.
Good call.
Okay.
Good call.
Thanks.
I wish I
Thanks for
could.
jumping on and making the time anyway. That's why I said John's stuck here, but you have the option to go.
Stuck here for the long haul.
For
baby.
anyone interested in Hypercharge Unboxed, the link for Xbox is in the description of this live stream.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go wishlist it. Go check it out. Game comes out 6 days. Anything else you would like to add, Joe? Before you depart, feel free to pimp out all of the socials and stuff.
Yeah, we're on. They're all different handles on our socials. I can never remember them, but we're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Got a Discord. I think it's all like Hypercharge Unboxed anyway. And yeah, I think it launches May the 31st on Xbox Series S, X, and One. Very exciting for us. And I think I'll say, if you were born in the late 80s, early 90s, and you remember that sort of early sort of Halo type gameplay, just simple, if you're a little bit sick of slide cancelling and tactical sprint and all these sort of complex sort of movement mechanics, Hypercharge it's designed to take you back to sort of the classic roots of action shooters. And yeah, the nostalgia will hit hard, and it's just a simple casual game. Not to take it. It wants to give you a light-hearted experience and make you feel like an action figure. And I hope that's what we have done, and I hope that's what it makes everyone feel. And for everybody who has bought on the game on the live stream, thank you so much. That does mean a lot. It's massively motivating. So yeah, thank you to everybody, and thank you to you guys for having me on again. It's been awesome.
Thanks for making
Always
the
a
time,
pleasure,
mate.
my friend.
So late on a Saturday night.
Yeah, no worries.
Apologise to the missus ahead of time. Like we're sorry about that, but it was all good, and we were glad to have you on. Best of luck for launch.
Yeah.
And keep your eye on XboxEra.com for the team's thoughts, and we'll probably talk about it next podcast as well.
Yeah.
And have a good night's kip, my man. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Take care, everybody. See you guys.
Bye, Joe.
Bye.
And we're still continuing, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
shit, I got to be in there. Hold on.
XboxEra Podcast.
Hold on.
Jesse's going to come back in now.
Jesse
Look, ping.
didn't realize it. I don't know why he didn't realize he needed to be in there, but anyway.
Well, no. It's because it's sized for having my camera on. So was going to go and I was going to change everything and make it look professional, but screw it. I'll just be on. It'll say Indie Game Joe for a minute.
Yeah, it's fun. That was good.
There.
Yeah,
Done.
that was fun. Love chatting to Joe. Super happy. Awesome. All right.
More news, yeah?
More news. Microsoft are bringing their AI shenanigans to Xbox with Copilot, designed to help you get good, help you craft a sword in Minecraft. It'll tell you what to do in the game. It'll tell Nick where to go for all of his achievements that he needs for the pointless number. Are you happy about this?
Inbuilt achievement guides could be cool.
But the question is, where is it getting those guides from? Who is it paying to achieve those?
It's
guides?
stealing them from the internet.
It's all based on OpenAI, and OpenAI has just been allegedly stealing stuff. Though I heard the Scarlett Johansson voice, it does not sound like her. I don't know.
Scarlett Johansson.
So they had asked
not heard the hoo-ha?
originally. Sam Altman, the future supervillain, had asked Scarlett Johansson, "Hey, you did that voice in her. Want to do a voice for our thing?" And she said, "Nope." And they just made a voice that everyone says sounds just like her. I'm like, it sounds like kind of like her. I don't think it's not some one-to-one. She's got a distinctive like raspiness to her voice that's just not going to be there in AI unless you force it. But yeah, no, OpenAI. I remember they wouldn't answer questions. Were you scraping from YouTube? If you want to hate Microsoft, I get it. I don't get it for Xbox. I get it for their AI shit working with OpenAI. That company allegedly and supposedly seems real scummy. Don't like them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a cool idea, and keep me honest here, but didn't the PS5 launch with a thing that you could load up chapters and be told how they were
but
done,
devs had to do it and no one did. When you make devs do extra work like that, it's not going to get used.
So
yeah, it had the inbuilt guide stuff, and I think it was accessing guides from somewhere, YouTube, something like that. I don't know.
But this is the thing; it's going to be accessed by someone, unless all developers for games are on Xbox are publishing guides of their own. It's going to be scraping the work from someone, and there's got to be a question of, well, who's paying for that? Who's paying for what OpenAI has scraped from people's hard work?
No one.
I think that's a fair question.
Oh, that's why isn't the New York Times is suing them for many billions of dollars, because it's very. They feel, allegedly, supposedly, that they were just scraping all of their archives to build up their. I mean, it's not. None of it's AI. None of it's ever going to be smart. It's all just large language models. It's like super dense and trained chatbots. So it just needs, but to become better and better, it needs more and more input, and eventually it's going to need so much input that it's going to be more text than the entirety of the human history has created.
Remember Short Circuit?
Yeah.
Need input. Need more input.
Yeah,
Johnny Five is alive.
That is. Man, this screen's brightness and these lights are absolutely killing my eyes. So I'm going to do a very nerdy thing. This is the one cool present that I got for my birthday that I absolutely love. Proper Ray-Ban aviators. That's it. I'm happy now. God, that's so much better.
Are they prescription aviators?
No, they're just really nice, solidly made. Like my general mantra for buying sunglasses was buy a cheap pair from Primani every year because I wouldn't give a shit about them. Look,
yeah, I've stopped doing that. I've
got some sitting here, and like if they get lost or smashed or whatever, I don't care. They would cost me $5. And then my missus was like, I got you some really nice aviators. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. But oh God, what if I lose them? And she said, you won't, because you're really, really, really protective of everything that you value. And now that you value these, you will be equally like, got to keep them in the case. And
I was tired of buying cheap glasses all the time. And I'd been sitting on the same pair of Killer Loop glasses that I had from 1998. I still have them to this day. And I finally went out and bought some nicer glasses. I tried on all the Ray-Ban aviators and they didn't look as nice. So I bought a pair of Armani ones that look quite good on me. So I haven't got them here to wear them. So we're all wearing glasses. But I have a nice pair of Armani.
It's a shame.
Aviators.
I love these. I love these. I'm very it's the sort of thing that I would never buy myself. I just wouldn't. I'd be like, I can't afford that. I'm not doing that. And yeah, it's really nice to have something like this. So I've got them now, and they are very nice at protecting my eyes from this very bright light when I am very tired. So yes, we've got Copilot coming to gaming, but Microsoft didn't stop there.
Also to Surface laptops.
Yes, well, this is the other thing. This is exactly what I was going to go into. Microsoft didn't stop with the announcements. They're obviously producing their Copilot AI laptops, and they unveiled their very first Copilot Plus PC, which was the Surface Pro 11 with an OLED screen and a new Snapdragon X. Now, this is, Jesse, keep me honest. This is an ARM chip, right? And ho, it can play games. And it can play games surprisingly reasonably well. And this is on a non-dedicated gaming device. This is on a productivity laptop. So are we seeing the hints here in real time of this future handheld environment that Microsoft have been kind of rumored to be heading towards with Xbox? That side of things, super exciting.
And it's funny, people are like, why are they talking about the MacBook so much? It's not even that big of an install base. And it's like, well, they're really expensive. Like, these machines are really expensive. Every part of them is expensive. They are not huge ticket. We're going to sell 1 billion of them. It's we want to sell to all those people who left us to go use MacBooks because this can outperform them and have better features all around, like OLED screens and everything that we think are real cool. So they're not going to be mass market. Those are friggin' Chromebooks and cheaper laptops because most people don't have a ton of money. But they're going, it's like that multifaceted approach. We're going for the top end laptop. We're going for all these different things. We get the work done on our
top end.
Yeah, the translation layers now getting better and better for being able to take x86 stuff like games and make them work. Like it's a lot of work that helps now, but is also very focused on the next years from now. So
having said that, I saw a lot of mockery of Microsoft's Copilot AI PC Surface web page that was just rushed out, and it looked like shit, which is different boxes appearing and it all performing badly. And I remember reading a tweet, I can't remember who it was from, but they were like, this is one of the reasons that Microsoft products really annoy me, because this is how you present them. It already makes me not want to buy them.
Well, and they had the bad thing, which is the snapshot feature, which is everyone losing their mind over, where every 3 seconds it takes an encrypted
Microsoft recall.
Yeah, it takes an encrypted local snapshot of your screen. And it's like, I don't need that. And you can turn it off, I'm sure, but if it's on by default, it'll piss enough people off where Linux will go from like, it'll gain like 0.5%. Because everyone's like, oh, I'm just going to go to Linux now. And then they go to Linux. And if you're not a tinkerer, Linux is a pain in the ass. Link's super powerful, really cool, but you will always have to tinker with it. Like every time I've used it, no matter how great I feel like I have it set up, one little thing will change. And now I'm just tinkering again and I got to fix it all. And that's just not normally an issue by default with Windows and even Mac, though Mac has gotten worse lately.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I saw Haroon Muhammad in the chat said Apple is also popular in the creatives market, which it always has been. Like if you were a graphic designer, you were on a Mac, who spend a lot on Adobe, etc. So it's a small market that spends a lot of money, kind of like Xbox.
And they're getting native Adobe apps now, finally, for their stuff.
Yeah,
on
it's just
Microsoft.
Funny, like. As everyone knows, I'm knee-deep in Apple's ecosystem and have been for a long time because I went to school to be a graphic designer, so I've been using Macs for a long time. I have to say right now is the first time where I can say that, like, Windows, and I'm talking purely looks and aesthetics now, Windows has gone past Apple. Like, Mac OS now looks kind of stale and boring now. I don't know.
I never liked using Mac OS. It's like none of it made sense.
It's
to me.
always
I grew
been
up on
reliable
Windows.
and stuff. It's just,
It just
Windows
works.
now. Windows now, I feel it just looks better now, visually. I like I said, I'll continue using a Mac just because, but. I don't know, like I use them now and I just find it's a bit boring and stale now to look at, where it used to be the really cool, nice looking one to look at visually.
Yeah.
And now
There's a lot of stuff you can customize now with Windows 11. Like I've got Start 11, which is, I think, Brad Sam's Windows company, Stardock, or whatever it's called. So I use that to customize my taskbar. You can download stuff like Rainmaker. I've got Desktop Engine, which lets me do the cool stuff like this, where I can have different desktops that animate and things like that, all on different screens. It's
Jesse turning me down.
Yes, you got really loud out of nowhere.
But I was really quiet up until then.
I know, but now you're like twice of John's volume.
Really? I was just listening on YouTube and I don't sound any louder.
In my headset, you sound a lot louder, and you're tickling the red now.
On YouTube, I'm not louder. I'm not louder at all on YouTube.
Chat will tell us how the levels are. Keep us honest, chat.
Because I've got the stream on here, and I don't sound barely louder at all.
Oh man, I can't listen to the stream and be in the stream at the same time. That's like crossing the
YouTube
stream.
is also
That's too
very
much.
annoying about how it tries to auto level stuff, and then people will flip out because on certain devices, some people are way lower, some people are way higher, and it's all because of how YouTube tries to auto level, and it sucks. I hate it.
I'm apparently much quieter than you, Nick.
That's how Nick
My
wants
voice
it.
projects. My voice projects. I have a very
And
strong voice.
again, it really depends on what you're watching through. It's very annoying.
Yeah.
But yes, maybe these laptops are the precursor to the next Xbox. They'll all just be running on a Snapdragon X Elite.
Yay.
Or just be running on the same chip. Could you imagine?
Yeah, I could.
No.
Oh, it's going to be a very interesting. I said it was going to be an interesting gen. I stand by it. It is the most interesting gen by far because they're all doing crazy stuff. Nintendo starting a brand new acquisition season. Went and acquired Shiver Entertainment from Embracer Group.
Yeah, they saved a studio from Embracer.
Yeah, this studio was the studio responsible for porting Harry Potter,
Mortal Kombat,
Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah, they ported it across to the Switch.
It was an awful port
for their skills.
but they had no chance. Like, that game was way too big for the Switch. It ran like ass on the Xbox One and PS4. So, and yeah, Mortal Kombat was also a horrible port. But again,
it ran.
I think everyone's looking at it the wrong way. Everyone's like, why would you buy this studio? They did ship ports. The way I look at it, because let's be honest, it's Nintendo. They don't acquire much. They're not going to just acquire a studio for no reason whatsoever, especially when Shinen has been begging Nintendo to buy them for the better part of 15, 20 years, and they've never bothered to buy these wizards from Germany that have always been able to work magic with Nintendo's hardware. They're the guys that made The Tourist. 6K on Xbox, 8K on PS5.
Because their engine scaled with clock frequency on the CPU.
The way I view it is Nintendo has clearly purchased them because they value those. Like, most people see those ports as shit, where the more realistic scenario is those ports were probably impossible and they somehow pulled it off.
Mm-hmm.
So Nintendo's like, holy shit, these guys are actual wizards with our hardware. Let's buy them and get them to do more ports. And maybe Nintendo will almost provide a service to help bring more AAA to Switch too. And they'll say, hey, big third-party studios, you want help getting your game on Switch? We've got a studio just for you that can do the job for you for a minimal fee or whatever. I don't know how this shit works, but to me that would make a lot of sense. So Microsoft might partner with Nintendo and go, well, hey, we're putting Black Ops 6 on Switch. Can Shiver do it? And Nintendo's like, yeah, man, Shiver will do it. Not a problem. Hey, why don't you work with them and work out how you're going to get... That's what I assume Shiver's purpose will be. That's what I assume. Sort of like Nix's with PlayStation. That's sort of like Nix's with PlayStation. Nix's was bought for the explicit purpose of porting games to PC. So maybe these guys have been bought just to help third parties bring their AAA games to Switch too.
Fair enough.
That would make sense to me.
There you go. And then last bit of UK-based news. So there's a general election that's been announced here in the UK. The Conservatives are on the ropes, thank God. All right, yeah, I'm putting my political
no politics in gaming.
Across. I know, politics and gaming. The Tories have absolutely decimated the country I live in over the last 14 years, and I'm glad to be rid of them. Do I think Labour will be much better? Probably not, but it's got to be better than Tories. But the UK, as part of this, because they dissolved Parliament, so the current Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, had to go and tell the King, I need permission to dissolve Parliament for a general election. The King said yes, and then they go through this kind of clean-up, getting these bills out and getting them closed and signed off. And one of them that's now passed is the bill that could force Apple to allow Fortnite and an Epic Game Store app on iOS. So this is a byline from Chris Scullion over at Video Games Chronicle. The Digital Markets Competition and Consumers DMCC bill that was introduced back in April of last year seeks to provide for the regulation of competition in digital markets. So they've rushed it through. It's now been pushed through. The CMA now have more power. It's a very similar bill, parts of it. to the EU's Digital Markets Act, so the DMA that we heard so much about, which went into effect in March, which forces companies like Apple to allow users to sideload third-party apps and app stores onto their devices. So this is one of those bets that Microsoft made for their mobile store, where they're like, the world is going to force some of these giants to play ball, much like they forced Windows to be this open platform. We can't just sell our browser, we have to allow everybody to choose. They're going to force now Apple and Android to do the same thing. And this is one of the bets that Microsoft are making. So that's happening now here in the UK. So a small story, but I
just want Fortnite to come back natively to iOS, because I feel like current iOS devices are now powerful enough to run Fortnite quite well. And I could imagine Fortnite looking and running really, really well on an iPhone 15 Pro.
Yeah, I bet it would. I was just reading the chat, and Reese said, did I know that Rishi Sunak, who's the current Prime Minister of the Tory party here in the UK, is making national service for 18-year-olds part of the manifesto here.
That's old school.
Good luck, Rishi. That's going to win you some
school.
votes. That is old school.
That is old school, man.
Man, I don't
Turn
imagine
18,
that going down
you're
well.
in the army.
Yeah, I mean,
Suck it up.
there is a part of me that's like, there are some youths today, now that I'm an aged 40-year-old, there are some youths today that could use the discipline, damn it. But
They probably
no.
could.
They probably could, but
Like the kid last night at the cinema where we went and watched If. Man.
needed a
There
slap.
was this... Oh, a slap. There was this kid that was literally just running around the entire cinema. Just unwieldy. And it got to a point where a lady spoke up. Right?
Oh,
A lady
always
got
trouble.
up, abused the mother,
Oh, lovely.
and shouted her and her child out of the cinema. I won't repeat what was said in the... Oh, I was rapt to see it happen, because I even told off this kid. I went to go, hey, to tell this kid to fucking go sit down, and this kid was oblivious. Just kept sprinting around the cinema.
Well, it's
And this-
it's funny. We have plenty of cinemas near where I live, and there are some that you can go to see a film. But there's one very local to me on a place called Canvey Island that is kind of like known. Like, yeah, this is the kind of experience you're gonna have. This is a cinema that you bring your kids to in the summer holidays. It's cheap and cheerful. It's not the best. We repeat old movies. You can let your kids run around like lunatics, and people do. But it's kind of like, this is what you're paying for. You know, it's cheap because this is what you get.
Do you guys have Village cinemas?
No.
Okay, so we have cinemas here. And they have these ones called VMAX Junior. They're literally designed to take your kids and let them run around like crazy. There's slides and there's beanbags and there's toys around. And
Nice.
like there's an intermission halfway through the movie. Like these are movies literally designed to take kids that just are unwieldy and just aren't interested in watching the movie. And I felt like saying to this lady, why don't you just take your kid to one of those sessions? If you know your kids are like this and you can't control your child, because at one point I saw the mother get up to try and chase the child and she was literally running after him in the middle of this movie.
Jeez.
And I'm like, why bring him? Why bring him if he's like this? Like, take him to a VMAX Junior session or something.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like the mom from the
And he's-
Babadook. She just can't control him.
Don't let him in. Don't let him in. Don't let
And
him
this
in.
lady
Don't let
just
him in.
got up. This lady got up and just, she's like, control your fucking kid. I was like, this is amazing. This is amazing.
You're just watching, like, eating your popcorn, like,
Oh, I was like,
not a
how good
knife.
is this?
She's like, don't give me. Oh, yeah, she did. Yes, Magnum. She's like, don't give me your ADHD bullshit. She's like, all kids have that. She's like, get the fuck. She's like, get your kid under fucking control.
I was like, oh my God, this is so good.
wow. Oof. Brutal.
I was like, holy shit, this is great.
Glorious.
That was amazing. It was one of the
Oh,
best
glad you have fun.
experiences
I've ever had at a cinema. It was better than June 2.
That's it for news. So, like, I'm looking at the run sheet here, and I've not yet played What
That's
Year
why
My
I'm doing
Dear.
it
So,
again.
what is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to hit that button.
Yeah. We have
What year? My dear.
We've still got to work out how we do this.
Yeah, Ryan's
Explain this to me.
We still have to work it out, like how we're going to approach this, because we're not doing buzz-in. We're not using buzz-in.
No, I really think the easiest way is 100% just you both have your phone, you both have a calculator, you type the year into the calculator, and then you show it. It's the easiest way.
We'll stick to that for now, but we'll work on it. So basically, Josie just gives us a game, and we've got to say what year we think it's from.
Yeah.
And whoever gets closest without going over, unless we get the year, of course, but whoever gets closest without going over.
So if you get the year, you get 2 points. Closest without going over gets 1 point. And if you both nail the year, you both get 2 points. Whoever has the most at the end wins.
Okay. It's worth mentioning, of course, that anytime we play a game on the XboxEra podcast, we're playing as champions for our brilliant and wonderful patrons.
Yes.
And the winner, so me or Nick, are winning for our patron. They get a game code from Jesse's big list of game codes. So if you are an XboxEra Patreon, you're in with a chance for winning a game code every week. Why not sign up? Head to patreon.com/XboxEra. This week, Nick, you're playing for...
Wait, I'm just putting boobs
Okay, I'll read it out then.
I'm putting boobs into the chat.
Fair enough. Nick is playing for...
I'm playing for Wojtek, Wojtek, and John is playing for Ricky Ruiz. See, look in the chat. There's boobs in the chat. Have a look.
Love
boobs.
Right. When you show your calculator, put it right over your microphone, because that means so you can't actually see it there. It has to be over your microphone.
See, look, now there's boobies in the chat. There was
like
boobs
that.
before.
Yep, like that.
Now
Like
there's
that?
Boobies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, the category has been up. It is games that came out. Actually, God damn it, I forgot to change it. Ignore that. That was last week. The OOs, the 2000s.
Okay.
So everything here came out in the 2000s. It can be anything, though. It can be any platform. So that's the rub.
This game already.
I mean, I try and do things.
Let's get some more boobs in the chat, guys. Come on.
All right. The first game, there's no buzzing.
5.
Don't say your answer out loud. You're going to type it into your calculator and show it at the same time. The first game, what year did Wii Sports release?
I got my year.
Nope, you got to wait for me to tell you to
Is
show
that working? Oh, we've both given the same answer. 2006.
Correct. You both get 2 points. But in the future, do not show it until I say, or else you're just handing away the answer.
Okay.
Why isn't it coming into focus?
Because you got a shitty Mac.
Come on. There it is. Hey, 2006.
All right. Tied at 2. It was funny, the last week, 2 weeks ago with Gene and Nick, not a single one ever got right. They were always off by a year or two. It was funny. All right. Number 2. What year did Grand Theft Auto San Andreas release? I really thought about doing every GTA game. Because there were 4 or 5 of
Grand
them.
Theft Auto 4 was 08, April 08. Grand Theft Auto
keep
3
helping
was
John.
2001.
Keep helping John.
2001.
Yeah. Don't think in your head, think out loud. Gentlemen, show me your years in 3.
Wait.
No. I've got 16 of these. I don't wait. 3, 2, 1, go. You got to be more to the side, John. I can't see it when we're in the thing.
Sorry, 2003.
John wins because he did not go over. It is 2004.
And 4. And I was going to put 4 as well. Fuck.
All right. John is now up 3-2. Nick, to either take the lead or try and tie. The next one is, when was The Sims released?
Oh, fuck you.
The Sims 4?
The Sims.
No, The Sims
1.
Isn't the first Sims like before the 2000s?
No, that's why it's in this.
I have no idea.
Gentlemen,
Got my
show me
year.
your year in 3, 2, 1. John with 2001, Nick with 2000. Nick has nailed it at 2000. And taking the lead.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gentlemen,
Well played.
in what year was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 released? 2 with a 2,
Oh,
not
yeah.
with 2 eyes.
Oh, God.
The original Modern Warfare 2. What year did it
Got my
release? Gentlemen,
Got my year.
give me your year in 3,
Oh, shit.
2, 1. Can Nick win by default? Okay, here we go. 2008 from John. I can't see Nick's because it never wants to focus.
It's 2009.
Nick has nailed it at 2009.
Nice.
It's easy. It's 2 years after Modern Warfare because they alternated the Call of Duties.
This one's going to be
It was
tough.
Black Ops.
I apologize ahead of time, but gentlemen, what year was Halo 3 released?
Wait.
Gentlemen, show me your years in 3, 2, and 1. 2007 from John. What is next? I can't see it. There. You both gain 2 points. It is, in fact,
Wow.
2007.
Thrilling.
All right.
I prefer name a game.
Fuckfaces, what year did Gran Turismo 4 release?
Oh, fuck off. Man,
You
I
prefer
don't know.
name a game, but
I
I've
bought
done
Gran
almost
Turismo
everything I
4.
can think of in name a game. So I need to mix it up.
Fair.
Shit. I bought Gran Turismo 4.
Don't go look at it.
No,
That's
no.
cheating.
GT4.
It's over there. Like I don't have it anymore. I sold all my PS2 games.
Gentlemen,
Shit.
show me your years.
No, wait.
In 3,
No, you see, saying.
2, 1
I don't know.
years.
Shit.
2003 from John. Is it 2003 also from Nick? It was 2004. Nobody gets a point.
Oh.
Wow.
Don't we both get 1 point?
No, I only give the points if you both get it on the nose. If you don't get it, no extra point. Doesn't really matter. We just make the number higher anyways. Gentlemen, sticking with racing, what year did Need for Speed Most Wanted release?
Oh god.
Is this the naughties?
I've been called an amazing game show host. Thank you.
Wow. True.
I got a Twitter message.
Okay, I think I'm ready. I have no idea. I'm
Gentlemen,
I
show
don't
me
know.
your
I
years
don't know.
in 3, 2, 1. Is Nico 6? You are both incorrect.
I'm
It
on
was
9.
2005.
Oh wow.
Oh.
I went way over, bro.
Well, the next one's
Way
easy because
over.
Nick literally said it earlier because he just thinks out loud. Grand Theft Auto 3. Gentlemen, show me your years
Shit.
in 3, 2, 1. Nope, too late.
Okay.
What did you put?
What did I put?
Yeah, I can't see
He
it.
put nothing. He put like 2. He
Oh,
put like
yes.
a 2.
2 points for Nick. It's 2001. He literally said it earlier in the show. Pay
I was
attention.
not ready.
You had a free one. He gave it to you earlier. Disgusting.
I
I'm
gave it
so
to him.
disappointed. I know. It shows how little he pays attention because he hates our patrons and doesn't want to win for them. Gentlemen, the next one. What year was Bejeweled released? The original Bejeweled.
Oh, I've got a child.
Uh-oh.
Come here, Poppet.
Okay, you get a little bit longer on this one.
Yeah.
I've got my year. I don't know if it's right.
This is a bedhead. What are you doing up?
What is she doing up?
Okay. I've got to go do a dad thing at 1:48 in the morning. Why is she up?
What is she
I don't
doing
know.
up?
She's just knocking at the door, bless her. She knows not to come in. That's really cute. I'll be right back.
What year did you put?
Oh,
Show it, John. 2005. What do you put, Nick? 2003. You're both wrong. It was 2001. All right, go be a dad.
I have no idea if I was right. I'll be right back.
You were not. You're never right because you hate the patrons. Nick,
Oh my god.
I don't think there's much we can change about this one. I know John's like, oh, I prefer name a game. I get it. Name a game's a little more dynamic, a little more make you think, and it's not just straight game show. But this is so much fucking easier, and I can go through a bajillion games, and it doesn't really matter. Whereas name a game, I can't use most Japanese games because it's just names.
Yeah, no.
How can I do Mario or Zelda or like many? No, how can I do John Madden football? Like, so I'll mix it up.
No.
It'll try to be 50-50, but I wanted to get John in on one of these for the first time. But yeah, don't worry, name a game is not gone. It's just rotated because I could only rename the same games over and over again so many times.
Do we just go to buzzing and we buzz, and the first person to buzz sets the year, and if they get it
this is
wrong,
fine. It's nice
then
and
the
quick.
the next. Yeah, but the other way is quick too. So if I buzz in and I get the year wrong,
you guys wait so long on buzzing.
And then John buzzes in. He says his year, and if he gets it wrong, it's whoever got closest. Why don't we just do it that way? So we're still buzzing.
Because I don't think buzzing helps. I don't think it makes it any more dynamic, especially because it takes so long to buzz most of the time. Because it's just like, for a while, like trying to think it out.
Chat.
Never listen to your audience.
Do you think we should go back? Do you think we should go back to buzzing, or do it the way we're doing it now, or should we buzz?
See, because I've been keeping it quick. You get like 5-10 seconds, and we can go through like 20 of them real quick. I think a big problem people have with Name a Game is it could be like a minute between me putting the answer out there and someone finally trying to buzz or guess. And people, some like it, some don't. They each have their own things. I'll start a poll.
Okay.
Do you prefer buzzing? Yes or no? There you go. Feel
no
free to
rumor
vote.
mill, Ben Angelo.
And buzzing, this poll won't change my mind, but I'm just doing it for next benefit. We'll always have buzzing for Name a Game. That's the way it works.
I don't think I've got a rumor mill.
Better be better than last week's.
I put a tease up on Twitter. I did put a tease up on Twitter that I was gonna have as a rumor mill, but I thought it was a bit too vague to be a rumor mill, and people would be like, "Oh my god, that could be fucking." Which was about, I said that fans of 360 era JRPGs.
Everyone's just been
there
saying
might be something at the showcase.
Jez said if you've been having the blues, like everyone's,
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I did.
Did I win that last one?
No, you were both way late.
No. We were
All
both
right,
wrong.
Nick's got a commanding 10-5 lead. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can still come back and win. There's plenty of them left to keep this shit snappy and going. The next one is, gentlemen, what year was Bayonetta released?
Oh, shit. Shit. It's a... Ooh,
Give me your answers in 5, 4, 3,
Shit.
2,
I think I'm off
1.
by a year.
Your years.
I'm off by a year.
2008 and 2006. John is closer. It was 2009.
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
God, I didn't realize that was that interesting. 2009. Really?
One that neither of you will know, so it's going to be entirely guesswork, even though it's Capcom's biggest franchise. Gentlemen, what year did the original Monster Hunter release?
Got my year. You know what? I think I've got this right, Jesse. I actually think I have this right.
Gentlemen, give me
no
your
idea.
year in 3, 2, 1. 02 and 02. You are both wrong. It was 04.
Oh, wow, really?
Brutal.
I don't know why you're hiding yours from me. I'm writing it. I can't do a last minute change like you can.
I think he's just trying to
What do
do
you
it at the
mean
same
hiding
time.
mine from you?
He's just trying to,
Just trying to.
just trying to
What
sync
you
up.
talking about? What you talking about, bro?
John's
see
got
how
to
you're doing it
nail.
with your
There's 4
calculator.
left. John's got to start nailing them. The next one, of course, being, when was Minecraft released?
Fucking hell, I don't know.
Oh my god.
I think I know.
I don't know. The original on PC Minecraft. The original Minecraft in its first iteration.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Ooh, and the no's have it on that poll by 1%, 2%. Gentlemen, show your years. Now, just go for it. 09, 04. John has nailed it. It was 2009.
Really?
Wow. Okay.
Thank you, Minecraft Annual. Also, they just celebrated 15 years of Minecraft.
Yeah.
Did they? I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, you don't do the news, so John's news has helped him. Gentlemen,
news.
for a potential tie or a more dominant Nick lead, what year was the original Hitman released?
Fucking hell. Okay, I think I. Wait, what's that sequel?
This is going to be another one of those ones that I probably get horribly wrong.
Show me your years in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2001 from John, and what's from Nick? You were both incorrect. It was 2000.
I knew that the sequel came out in 2002. I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
There
But
are
yeah,
only
I
2 more
see.
questions. John's going to have to dominate to come back.
It's not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. It is not going to happen.
John Mechanico and Nico Clarko. What year was Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell released? Show me your years in 3, 2, 1. John Mechanico has now tied it, as it was in fact 2002. We are
Thought I
tied
might
at
have been
10.
off by a year.
If we stay
thought I
tied,
might have
I
been
need
off
to hit
by
up
a year.
Wikipedia and start getting more. See, that's the nice thing here, too. I can just go to Wikipedia and get more. For the win. What
Yeah.
year did Jetu Setu Radio release?
Oh, shit.
Give me your answers in 5, 4, 3, 2,
My post-it.
1.
I've lost this.
Now. What is next? You were
Oh,
both
we
incorrect.
both got the same.
You're both wrong. It was 2000. I got to hit up Wikipedia.
Oh, I was going to put 2000, thinking of the Japanese release. I was going to put 2000. Shit.
All right. Wikipedia gaming in the 2000s.
Damn it.
Fuck me. I figured that would be enough. I'm
God,
gonna
I
do-
can think of a bunch of
I
games
thought of
just
this
off the
one.
top of my head.
Yeah. I need to guarantee the year, though. You know how crazy people get. Gentlemen, what year was Club Penguin released?
Fuck you.
What? What's Club Penguin? What is it?
It was that website that kids could go to and play a ridiculous amount of weird games, I think. It was like a weird social hub through web browsers. Fuck it. Come on.
That's not a game.
All right.
That's not a game.
Fine. It was
come
2005.
on, man. That's a bit
Come on.
silly.
It was
Come on.
2005.
That's a
Everyone
bit
knows Club
silly.
Penguin. That shit's not silly. You're just idiots.
I've never heard of Club Penguin before.
Clug?
Club.
You know what? I'm
got more
sticking
words
with the
mixed up.
awful kids games, but you have to call this one again because this one is, what year did Roblox release?
Oh, shit.
Club Penguin was a
Oh,
metaverse.
my God.
What year
did
did
Roblox
did
release?
Roblox release? Give me your year in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nick with John with 2010. What's Nick? It's not going.
2003.
Nick wins because it was 2006.
Nice.
Oh,
I like how the guy in chat's like, you said we'd say in the
Congratulations.
2000s. Bitch, we did.
Man. That was
Whoever
full on.
won, please contact me. I will hand you a game for free.
Boom. Just like that.
No, it was not Mr. Boomstick.
Yeah. Wodge Tech.
GG's, I guess. I don't know how I feel about it. It's funny. It's definitely quicker. But yeah, okay.
It is a necessary, different version. We
It's-
can't just always
it's
do
not as-
name a game.
It doesn't end up as funny as Name a Game. It won't end up being as humorous as Name a Game can be. But I don't mind it. I
don't
like
mind
it.
it.
As
I
something
don't
to-
mind it.
I've
Okay.
been
we've-
struggling to find different things because most video games just have people's names in them, and that makes it very hard to do a synonym of.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like crying in mother hanging out in Rio de Janeiro for Mario. Like a
crying sister too.
Yeah. That one was easy.
Sister too.
Crying sibling
No,
too.
it wasn't.
Or weeping sibling.
Just a crying brother.
It was It was like weeping sibling or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
was the
weeping
best.
sibling too.
That was the
Like
best.
crying brother.
Crying sister. And the way we were looking and talking to Jesse with such contempt, we were like crying.
It was like this was that was one of the easy ones, and you were just.
That was funny. That was funny.
But yes, name the game. I'll swap between them.
Okay, all right. Well, it's coming up on that point of the show where we tackle the last remaining ones of community questions. We heard from a few of our community members and our wonderful patrons earlier on, because indeed, having a community question is a perk by being a Patreon member. We love them because they make all of this stuff possible. So if you want to become a Patreon member, head to patreon.com/XboxEra, where for as little as like a Starbucks or a Costa or whatever coffee you drink a month, like just one of those ones that
just
you
like
might
the
have
one
every
I'm
day.
drinking now.
Bosh, you help us. If we had 1,000, amazing the things we could do. Just saying.
My lovely wife brought me.
You
just
get
now.
Nick doing tons of Nintendo coverage. Like you'll be able to do so much more.
If we hit 1,000 patrons, I would let Nick start a Nintendo Era podcast. Like,
Yep.
For
just do
patrons.
it. Boom. Yeah. Smash
We
it.
need patron
There
content.
you go.
So
Yes.
whatever.
For patrons. Anyways, community questions, Nick. The
Have we
remainders.
done a movie podcast for May?
No, we need to do one. But there's loads of stuff now
The Fall
that's
Guy.
kind of out. So
Yeah, the
there's
Fall
The
Guy.
Fall Guy, Monkey Man.
Monkey Man.
Yeah. I've seen If.
I haven't seen it yet.
Furiosa. I'm going tomorrow.
Furiosa, I really want to go see. I really want to go see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes as well.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing
Too
that
many
either.
movies. Too many movies.
But we should definitely do the Fall Guy. The Fall Guy's great. Fall Guy's really
Spoiled it. Can't do it now.
good. Spoiler. Okay. Community questions. Which is the
A
best
surprise first post. It's Hytham G.
Hytham G.
Hytham G. Hyperbolic scenario of Xbox. So let's say that if Xbox becomes Microsoft Gaming and such, since that's what gaming journalists call them and such, here's my two cents sentence scenario down
A to
below.
C sentence scenario.
What's A to C?
Like
A to
here's
Z?
my 1, 2, 3. Do they A? Do this? Do they B? Do this? Do they C?
Oh,
do this?
A to C. Okay, sorry. I got mixed up there. A. Do you see Microsoft making consoles like that cylinder Xbox device along with the handheld that's coming soon while they're pulling a valve and having their games being multiplat and keeping Xbox platforms while the games come to Xbox devices? B, do you see Microsoft Gaming pulling a Sega where the cylinder Xbox device is their last effort like Dreamcast and such? C, what's your take on Microsoft ways of handling gaming and such? Well, you know my thoughts on all that, man.
I would say that
Xbox
Microsoft's plan is
sucks.
A. Microsoft's plan is A, that they can keep making hardware, but have their games to a degree be multi-platform, but bring them to those hardwares and also perhaps allow other hardware manufacturers to have a go. It's one way of doing it. I don't know if it's going to work.
In a
I don't think it
perfect
will.
world, where Microsoft's happy and we're all happy, so I'm going to try and be even-handed here.
Fair.
In a perfect world where both Satya, Tim, and Amy are happy, Phil is happy, and we're all happy as people who prefer Xbox. Microsoft would keep making hardware, despite the fact that no one buys it, because they won't once everything goes multiplat. So Microsoft will keep making hardware for us to buy, which means we won't lose our digital libraries and all that sort of stuff. And Microsoft keeps everything multiplat and rakes in the money. That's the perfect world scenario.
My fear is that Microsoft won't keep making hardware. I've said that for months now. That's my fear. My fear is that once they see no one buying it, they'll just be like, well, why are we bothering?
Yep. And they would have killed their only cool consumer-facing brand.
Yeah. Because, and
in the chase
remember,
for more monies.
Remember, the negative effect of that, should that happen, the knock-on effect is, being that console represents the vast majority of Game Pass subs, all of a sudden Game Pass subs tank. And if Game Pass subs tank and console sales tank, what's the next step? Do you know what I mean?
Fair.
Like, that's my fear.
Yeah.
That's my fear.
I think it's a reasonable fear to have.
There's a rational discussion around, will this work? That gets drowned out by people who either... Most conversations online are by people who don't know how anything works, so they will just look at anecdotal evidence that matches how they feel, whether it's negative or positive, and they'll just ignore logic and shit half the time because they just want to have an argument on something they don't actually understand in a way that makes them feel better or angrier about it, depending on what they're leaning towards.
I want nothing more than to be wrong about this. I want nothing more than to be wrong. Because I don't actually care that
if we look at your history,
people on PlayStation are playing these games.
You're probably going to be wrong because you're wrong all the time. So things are looking up.
I don't actually care if people on PlayStation are playing Sea of Thieves. I didn't even play Sea of Thieves. So what's it to me if they play it? I don't give a shit. As long as Microsoft keeps providing me with an Xbox to play on, I don't give a shit. I don't care.
I got Macca's.
So as long as that keeps happening, nice. Is that a frappe?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a frappe?
Yep. It's I think it's, what is it, Oreo? Yeah, Oreo frappe.
Yeah. I don't like the frappes.
I love a good frappe.
I'm pretty sure frappes are Greek too. I could be wrong.
There are types of Greek frappes that are like you take instant coffee and water, mix them up, make a froth, pour that over ice and milk. Greek frappe.
But yes, yeah. As long as they keep making hardware, I'm fine.
I think that the money men, you know, the Satchers, the Amy Hoods, the Tim Stewarts are looking at data, and data is telling them this, and they're like, yeah, we should be able to do this fine.
Short-term data too.
Short-term
data.
And I'm like, I understand the theory behind the push that they're going to make. And it, in truth, also doesn't bother me. It bothers me from the objective of we have an Xbox branded publication that is my living. That bothers me. You know, I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Whenever you're ready to let me branch out and do Nintendo, just let me know.
we might fucking have to, bro.
I'm there.
You know? So that bothers me. But I feel like they did this before. They looked at the data and they made decisions based on data that were outside of how the industry works. And what did it give us? It gave us Kinect and Xbox One. And what did that do? Fucked them.
I think it's more. I think it's more. They're still just applying their business view to a creative industry. They're just applying very much strict business rules, business viewpoints, business anything to a medium that it's not purely business driven. If that makes sense, like it's not. Just about business. Like, would Microsoft... So ask yourself this question, right? Had the developers of, I don't know, Balatro, had the developer of Balatro gone to Microsoft and pitched it, you reckon Microsoft would have said go for it? Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah.
If the developers of Power World had gone to... Oh, actually, no, Power World's different. They probably would have because they put it on Game Pass, so they obviously saw it and thought it was something. I'm trying to think of another example. I don't know. That's my worry about Microsoft. Not Xbox, as in Phil, Microsoft. Because let's be honest, I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say that Tim and Amy are in control now.
I I would like to think that Phil is like, I'm really against a lot of these decisions, but also I have a boss.
He talked about it before, like they're not allowed to lose money at all. People are like, oh, they've got infinite paychecks. And it's like, no, everything at Microsoft has to earn its keep.
Fund itself.
Yeah, like they're not worth a ton because they just waste money like Epic does with the metaverse. Like they focus heavily on not losing. And it's not like all their data is bad. They're making more money than ever. They make good decisions here. They make seemingly dumb decisions here. Like no one's going to bat 100. I do think
Like
just
Tango.
from
Tango
the
was a
feel
mistake.
from the feelings that we get from listening to Phil and stuff and the leaks that are out there, it very much feels like I think the gaming side of things know it's going to end up going this way, but want to hold it off and not immediately jump full head on into doing it this way. They want to slowly transition.
Brit, it's not that their data is rubbish. None of their data is rubbish. I don't think anyone's ever called their data rubbish. Data is data. It's black and white. It's not rubbish, but a lot of the time it's contextless.
Yeah.
That's the issue. It's not that it's rubbish. Their data was correct. Everyone on an Xbox 360 was watching Netflix.
True story.
It's black and white. It's not wrong. It's not rubbish. But that data ignores context. The data ignores that at the end of a console's life cycle, you got a lot more casuals that are playing less games because they're waiting for the big new thing or they're whatever. And then when you launch a new generation, you're not supposed to just...
You've got to go back and be about the games again.
You've got to go back and be about the games again. So it's not that it's rubbish data. It's that it's contextless data. And that's Microsoft's problem. And that's what happens when you apply just business rules to everything. And Microsoft's like, well, what we're doing in Office works. Let's apply that to Xbox. No, that's not how that works.
It's really funny. You've just triggered and this is geeky to the extreme, a Star Trek Next Generation Season 2 moment for me, because Reese in the chat was like, please stop saying data. And I just pictured Lieutenant Commander Data.
I don't say data.
Lieutenant Commander Data saying, one is my name, the other is not. So, it just...
I've always said data. I've always said data. I don't say data.
It's
Same way I don't say beta, because it's not beta, it's beta.
Nick has...
No.
Oh.
I got it mixed up.
It's
wow.
It is... Sorry, I just got it mixed up. It is beta. Beta's the way, because in Greek it's vita.
Greek.
In Greek it's vita, so yes, it's beta. Oh my God.
I was going to make the joke that Nick says data because he has father issues.
Could be something to that.
Anyway,
but
I think we've answered that question.
So, Brit, it's not that it's rubbish. It's the context. And now Brit's saying not all their context around it is rubbish. Mostly is.
The most rubbish thing about all these discussions is it's a bunch of not experts without any actual info being told occasionally by a few people in companies of thousands.
Me that I have great insights and instincts into the industry. That means that I am a bit of an expert.
Didn't. Okay, I'm not going to get into it.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do what you were about to do just then. Don't do that.
There's a very famous "We created DirectX" quote that I want to throw out at Albert Finello. God bless him.
I have that backing that you guys don't. So I am in a better position
still in your
to
private
speak
server?
on this stuff. Yes.
He's one of the few. Does he ever talk?
He is. No one talks.
No one talks anymore.
No one talks.
I've been told. Ed Comment talks. Woo. When that man talks, I get screenshots. All right, next question.
Who?
Ed Comment.
All right.
Yeah, everyone's favorite. Next question.
I like it.
Oh, God.
Like everyone.
Me too.
Jesse
I don't
Brown.
know.
Welcome back, John. Your sub last weekend, the usually enjoyable Mr. Badbit, was rather miserable and unlikable last week, and Nick managed to outdo your typically lame control segues.
Ah, thanks.
What was wrong with Mr. Badbit last week?
I imagine I imagine the show may have taken a slightly complaining, negative. That's just my guess.
About what?
About studio closures and Microsoft and gaming and everything as a whole.
I don't think it was that bad. I thought it was quite reasonable.
I got a lot of DMs.
I thought it was quite reasonable. I thought I gave a really good argument on why they shouldn't have closed Tango. I thought it was a really good argument.
For those that are interested, go check out episode 212 of the XboxEra Podcast.
And I even said to Jesse that I understand the business arguments for closing Tango. I said that to Jesse. I go, I totally get why, from a business standpoint, they would close Tango.
And we all said we all hate it. None of us like what happened or agree with it. But people still said I defended because I didn't go along with every point. I'm like, fuck, those are two of my favorite studios. You think I like it? Eat shit.
And my control segues are amazing. They're spot on. What do you mean? Look at today with Hypercharge. Rainbow Six did a partnership with Control, and I segued it into saying, "Hey,
it was beautiful.
Maybe Hypercharge should do one, mate. Come on, Trev. Don't."
I was gonna say it would be like melted plastic flavor, but that wouldn't be very good. It would match a theme.
Now that we could. Now that we can give our impressions of Senua's Saga, holy friggin' Hellblade, does that game look and run incredible, even at 30. And games that do utilize their recently bumped up frame rates, like Starfield and Fallout 4, have nicely filled out my quick resume trio. I was just about to say quick resume. My question is, why did YouTube and the artist formerly known as Twitter projectile vomit so many damn trailers lately? Which I guess is appropriate, because the trailer, so many dopes are creaming their undies over his stupid Wizard of Oz musical Wicked. I haven't even seen that. And even though I loved Alan Wake 2's musical level, I've always hated musicals. Me too. I can't stand musicals. As soon as I heard The Joker was a musical, The Joker 2, I was like...
Joker 2 is a movie that uses music segments, he said, not a direct musical. So we'll see.
Yeah?
I
hope so.
I'm a recent convert. I took the missus to see Les Miserables.
I'm John Valjean.
Theatre. And holy shit, it got me, man. I cried at the end.
Makes me call into question your head.
It was really fucking good. It was impressive as fuck. I'm an emotional man.
No, I'm looking at something else that I want to play. Let me... Is it going to play through my... Oh, it's not going to play through my speaker.
Are we going to get YouTube copyright hit for whatever you want to play?
I don't think so, but I want Jesse to play. Speaking of musicals, what's this from? This is from The Sound of Music. I want Jesse to play this because it's the greatest way that you can play this, say this word. It's so good. Just play that. I want Jesse to play that.
Oh, private chat.
Can
I
you
don't see
play
that. Yeah, hold on. All right. Oh, God damn it.
I want to see if anyone else gets it. John should get it, but I want to see if anyone else gets it.
Well,
some radio stations in Australia use it as a great way to say something on air that they're not allowed to say.
Yep. Okay. I just got to put on desktop audio now. All right. You're not going to hear it unless you have it. You're not going to be able to hear it. I can't make it so you can hear it. All right.
I'm talking about on the YouTube.
Our abbey is not to be used as an escape. What is it you can't face?
No.
Maria, our abbey is not to be used as an escape. What is it you can't face?
What is it you can't face? But said quickly, so cunt face. What is it you can't face?
Okay.
I love it.
What is it you can't face? Oh, that's good.
I love it so
What
much.
is it you can't face?
What is it you can't face? Every time I hear radio stations in Australia play it, I fucking can't stop laughing. It's so good. Oh god, it's such a cheat code for being able to use that word.
Yeah.
God,
What is it you can't face?
What is it you can't face?
Okay.
I'm crying so much.
Yep. Okay, come on. There's one
I
last
can't
bit
play
of
the
Trav's
wrap it up
question
music
left.
anymore. It gets us claimed, so it's gone
Yeah.
forever.
Come on. There's one last bit of Trav's question left. Unless you
That
can't
was all
face
about
it.
musicals. I just can't face this question. As soon as I realise what I'm watching is a musical, I feel I might puke. Yes, like I did with the Joker too. That said, great review of Senwa Saga, John. I haven't finished it myself yet, but I imagine I won't go so far as a 10. No, it's not a 10.
Read the rest.
But hey, it seemed quite genuine, and I know it had to enrage Nick, so it's a win in my book. Yes, like I said, John and I had a very robust discussion in DMs
Very
about
robust.
the 10. I was vehemently against the 10 out of 10.
was
He's
not
like,
happy
no, I'm
with
giving
me.
it a 10, and I'm like, fucking hell, man.
Yeah. I wasn't alone. I wasn't alone. If I was an outlier, I'd be like, ooh, I fucked up there, but I didn't.
Like me, I wasn't alone with Redfall.
Let's just say I wanted to play that clip from The Sound of Music.
Oh, man.
I just couldn't face the 10. Anyway. Creaky Legs. No, wait. No, not Creaky Legs. Sorry, Jesse. LeeLayfield. Hi, guys. Summer Geoff Fest must be a real mess and likely cancelled because I've not seen a billboard, poster, cinema, or YouTube ad of any kind. Just a few tweets. Shocking behaviour. I can't believe the media isn't going all in on Geoff for not promoting his promotion to promote games and his Hollywood friends. Shocking, I say. Geoff throwing all these hard-working studios under the bus with minimal marketing like this. Anyway, have a great weekend, boys, and potential bank holiday Monday. I know I am thanks to Hellblade II. I'm only let down by not having a 66-inch OLED TV.
Fair.
Thanks, Lee.
Fair.
Yeah, I know. Where is the marketing for Summer Games Fest?
I don't think it's that kind of thing. IGN Live
don't
are doing
know.
a consumer thingy, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Not much marketing. When is it? It's only like, what, 2 weeks away?
Yep.
Not much marketing. You know, when we do the showcase stream, I may have a patron in the background of the showcase. It's an
I
extra
think
tier
Restream went down.
of Patreon.
Restream itself has gone down, not me. Because I see you guys fine and everything's
there's an
fine.
extra-
But Restream's dead.
There's an extra patron tier, which is that you get to be in the background of a of a stream, because Jason will be down from Sydney. Oh, wow. So we're gonna watch the.
All right. Lowered the.
Maybe we
Nope,
shouldn't use
still dropping.
Restream anymore.
Yeah. We're not really getting any views out of it anymore, sadly. But yeah, I lowered it like as low as I can, and it's. No, just sending stuff to Restream is not good. My upload is very good right now.
So can we get it back, or
I can swap us to only YouTube. I think that will work.
well, yeah, I think that's more important.
It's stabilized. Finally. Let's see. Hello,
Yeah, we
everyone.
seem to be back now.
Yeah, Restream keeps saying, we're having an issue. We're having an issue. So hopefully it's better now. We'll see if it
We seem to be back now.
holds up. Fingers crossed.
Oof, that was close.
Yeah, we seem to be
Okay.
back.
Well, it's the last
Okay.
two questions, so we should be.
Creaky Legs. There are new members joining the community every day, so I think we need a little get to know you. No long stories, just a quick answer and a brief why, if you wish to explain further. Least favorite game genre,
JRPG.
Jesse?
Real-time strategy.
I was about to say I'm either JRPG or real-time strategy. It's one of those two for me. Maybe visual novel, those as well. What single-player game have you played the most?
Yeah, no, it's dying again. I am going to just go away from Restream. So give me a sec. We'll be right back.
Yeah, just get rid of Restream. We seem to be back. Or are we?
All right.
No, maybe not.
Hello. We're back. Just on YouTube, not on anything else. Oh, man. What the hell? I can't even tell. Hold on.
Ain't nothing there.
I'm still buffering on my end.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
I'm trying to watch it and I'm not seeing anything.
Why is it up and ready for hell? There we go. Now it should be back.
It looks stable.
Yeah.
It looks stable.
Oh, yeah, no, it's fine.
We're stable.
Yeah, I'm just using regular old OBS to YouTube. Should be good.
Yep.
I think we're going to call it on Restream. Yeah. It's also going to look fine.
Stick to that.
Hello, everyone. You might need to reload. I'll put that in chat. You may need to reload. But weird.
Do you want to start Creaky Legs' question again?
Yeah.
Okay, so Creaky Legs' question. There are new members joining the community every day, so I think we need a little get to know you. No long stories, just a quick answer and a brief why, if you wish to explain further. Number 1, least favourite genre.
JRPGs, because they bore the shit out of me.
Yep, or RTSs. What single-player game have you played the most?
Diablo 3 can be co-op, but Diablo 3 probably.
Yeah.
I think back in the era where I had a game and it was like the game that you just had to keep going back and playing because you had very few games, would probably be Halo CE.
I was just about to say
player.
mine
I
is,
think
mine is either
Trav,
Halo CE.
Trav in the chat, we beat Halo like 100 times, but that was co-op.
Mine is either Halo CE or Streets of Rage 2.
I would put a strong runner-up of being Ninja Gaiden Black.
Yeah.
For single player only that I played the most would probably be Skyrim.
Yeah, fair.
Not for you two.
I'm Halo
Mass
or Streets
Effect,
of Rage.
Mass Effect.
One of those two.
But yeah, go on. Next one.
God, this next question's easy. Do you see yourself gaming at 60 years old? Yes.
Yes.
No, the world will be on fire and underwater.
I'll be gaming literally till I physically am incapable of gaming. Until I'm just incapable.
Agreed.
Which could be sooner rather than later. What Xbox controller is your favourite?
360.
Elite Series 2 when the bumpers aren't broken.
Yeah, when it's not busted, the Elite Series 2 is the best Xbox controller there is. When it doesn't fall apart in your hands because the breeze comes in through the window.
I would say it's a very close one, but the one thing that tips the 360 pad over for me is the sticks just felt tighter.
Like shit. What are you talking about?
Nah,
God.
They just... They
For
felt
actual
good. A
aiming
brand new
and everything?
360 pad
Terrible.
was so good.
Maybe in your hands good, but actually using it? No way.
That D-pad is fucking
Didn't give a shit about the
bullshit.
D-pad. That's not what
Well,
I
I
used.
did. And you used it in Gears, and I used to play fighters.
Yeah.
So, no, the 360 D-pad. The rest of the 360 pad's fantastic. But that D-pad, Jesus Christ. Number 5. What are the last 16 digits of your credit card?
Okay.
5,
4, 6,
4,
5,
7,
9,
3,
0, 1,
6, 2, 2, 6,
0, 2,
8, 0, 1, 4,
8, 9, 2, 6.
2, 2,
Mine is
4,
OU812.
5.
It's not a very long one.
Yeah.
Oh, U812.
Okay.
Thanks,
Omen. I want to say Omen is the last question. Yeah, 80085. Yes. Boobs.
Yes.
Omen. Last question.
Last question.
Do you think the public cares more or less about reviews compared to the early and mid 2000s? I've had a lot of conversations with friends where I recommend a game, and even when my friends has Game Pass, they refuse to even install games like Starfield and Hellblade 2 because the Metacritic is too low. That said, Call of Duty has a very low rating and plenty of people play it.
Social media.
Does Call of Duty have a low rating?
Oh, yeah, it almost
Oh,
always
does
has. The last couple I've had them, yeah. But
Especially the Xbox tax is coming in hard.
Social media makes it makes it feel like there's more or less of stuff. When the reality was, you didn't know. You just had your friends group, and that was it. You didn't know what everyone in town
that's right.
across the world was doing.
I think the general public still doesn't care that much about reviews.
I agree.
Or else we get more views.
Because if they did, then games like Roblox wouldn't be successful. Games like Power World wouldn't be successful. So the fact that there's so many low reviewing successful games flies in the face of the fact that reviews allegedly matter. I think within the hardcore space and the terminally online space, yes, they probably do matter to an extent. Otherwise, Metacritic wouldn't be what it is. It wouldn't hold the sway that it holds. So I think there's two sides to that sort of argument. It depends on which perspective you're looking at it from. So they do and they don't.
Reviews have an oddly large influence on the industry itself. I think it's bigger than... Because some games can be made, especially when they're smaller. Getting great reviews can really help those games because they don't need a bajillion people playing them. They just need a good handful, and reviews can really help with that. But for the big things, they almost don't matter. They can help, but they're not. They don't hurt nearly as much as people think. Like Hogwarts Legacy getting middling reviews from some and greats from other. I don't think it changed that game. It was just an IP people cared for and wanted to finally have a decent game in. So,
That's it. Good question.
We have a super chat. Risk it for the biscuit. Collingwood supporters love the D pad. Keep laughing, Risk it, because when Harley Reid's playing for Collingwood at the end of his 3-year contract, mate, we'll see if he's still laughing then.
Ooh, and no one
he'll be coming to Collingwood when that contract ends and he wants to come back home to Melbourne. He'll be coming to play for Collingwood, buddy. Don't worry about that. And if you don't believe me, go and watch his pre-draft interview where they asked him, they said, if you could pick Harley, which club you want to go to, where would you go? He said number one was Collingwood. Because of the big crowds we play in front of every single week, and he wanted to play in front of those big crowds. Number 2 was Geelong, because that's the club he barracked for as a kid.
Where are you, Dorito Pope?
And number 3 was whichever club recruits me. So don't worry, buddy. When that 3-year contract is up, he's going to be in black and white. He's going to look so good in a black and white jumper.
And on that note,
Harley Reid and Nick Dacos in the same midfield.
About Australian League football. It's the end of the show. Thank you ever so much, chat, for hanging out despite the technical issues right at the end there. We really appreciate you and your time. If you haven't hit the like button, please hit it because it really does help us out. And if you really love what XboxEra does, do consider supporting us on Patreon. Patreon.com/XboxEra. We'll be back. Jesse and I will be back on Tuesday for another episode of Headlines. For those of us in the UK, it is a bank holiday Monday. That means typically, no work and the kids are off. It's half term, baby. Isn't life great? I'll be back on Tuesday with Jesse. We'll be back on Thursday with even more. We've got a lot coming to the site this week. Jesse, what have we got coming to the site this week?
I have 3 things. I have the Rogue Prince of Persia review in progress, Hypercharge Unboxed review, Jesus Christ, Humanity coming to Game Pass review. Gyozobaki's working on F124. We will not hit embargo for that one because I literally just got it and he's not in town to play it. Next month...
I'm working on Chance of Senar.
You're working on a Chance. We've got Headlines Tuesday and Thursday. We've got a lot coming in June. A whole bunch of shit. So, lots and lots of stuff like always.
Yeah, we'll do our best, everybody. And if you're out in LA during Summer Games Fest, do hit me up. I'll be around. And we'll figure out how we're going to do streams and stuff and what I can be on depending on time zone. It should all be fine. It's like 3 PM. It just depends if I'm seeing something or doing something relevant to
for Gamescom. Gamescom, if I end up there,
you will.
I may have a set of Rode wireless mics for us.
Oh, lovely.
Those proper nice Rode wireless microphones. I may have a set of those for us to use, so we don't have to sit there carrying our mic or whatever. We'll just have them clipped to us and
talk away.
Away we go.
Sounds good. It should be a fun time. We are fundraising for Gamescom and Summer Games Fest because it costs an inordinate amount of cash to actually go out there and do all this stuff. We will be holding a subathon mid-June once Summer Games Fest is kind of wrapped up and all the games have been covered. We'll be doing a lengthy 24-hour-ish as best we can stream of all sorts of things planned. Keep an eye out for it. We'll be making some noise. We did have this planned for earlier this year, but the sentiment and the feel around the industry,
we were a week too late.
Then, it wasn't great, and everyone was not in a good mood. So we'll be back and keep an eye out for that. But until next time, we'll see you on another episode of the XboxEra Podcast.
Yep. We'll see you all next week. Harley Reid at Collingwood 2027. Bye. Ciao for now.
Ciao for now.